Hi, my name is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human, running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampir. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar Wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello! Hello! Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, I'm the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. I almost said Tyranny of Dragons then, for our Curse of Strahd campaign. Welcome, everybody. It's so great to see your lovely faces. Thank you for joining us. We're very, very excited to play some Curse of Strahd tonight. Now, even though he has just turned his camera, he's back on again. For podcast listeners, Jared is rejoining us tonight. He is back. How's the cat? I think last I checked in, all was okay. All been okay since then as well?
Yeah, no, it's cleared up.
Awesome.
We just sort of, we just gave it some like different food and stuff like that, and what they recommended. So, yeah, no, I think it was like the stress of moving into like my house with a new cat and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, no, it was like vomiting for like ages.
Yeah. Oh, look, I'm pleased to hear everything's okay now. That's really good.
I really hope you did ask before if the cat was okay, Owen. We're not just going to drop a cat.
No.
Straight on the stream.
I've checked in with Jared twice about the cat.
It up, Owen.
A, because I care about the cat and I want to make sure the cat's okay. Because like, even though cats are assholes, cats don't deserve to be sick. And also because your Maine Coon is just the most gorgeous cat I've ever seen. And even though this is
the Maine Coon's been good.
Oh yeah, no. Even though the Maine Coon's not sick, I'm like, you poor Maine Coon having to deal with vomit everywhere. Like that sucks.
Does the other cat just look wildly inadequate next to the Maine Coon?
It's like half the size.
Yeah.
And it's 4 years older.
Oh, that's pretty funny. So no, get this though. My Maine Coon's like double the size, but is more scared.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
what the
I've
hell?
just looked up what kind of cat that is. That is messed up. Like,
Maine
that's not a
Coon?
real cat, right? Yeah.
They're
I had no idea what it
Oh,
was. That's
man.
not real.
Legit.
My
No,
name's
no.
like cat now.
That's like a lion.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
So it's 2 years old and has about another 2 to 3 years of growing.
Yeah.
And it's like double, triple the size of other adult cats.
Yeah. They can get up to like 30 kilos, can't they?
I'm not sure on the exact
Maybe
weight.
not
That's a
30.
dog
They're-
at that point.
Maybe
they're
It is a
definitely
dog.
Moving, I think they move into like medium dog territory.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, how much did you say they can weigh, Owen?
I think it was
Let's
30
find
from
out.
memory.
Yeah, great. Google says up to 8.2.
Oh, wow. I was way off. Why did I think they were
So-
30? Maybe I'm getting them mixed up with something else.
You know what it is though? It's all the fur. It looks deceiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling people about me, eh?
Does it work?
No.
I was going to say, I'd be impressed if it did. Goodness. All right, now, what was I going to say? Oh, thank you, everybody who joined us for our Raft impromptu stream on Saturday morning. Thank you. We had loads of fun playing Raft. That was great fun. There's no Pokemon raids coming up that have been announced that sound exciting or good. I mean, in before someone goes, oh, but there was a Mousehold raid advance. Yeah, I said good or exciting. So we'll be doing more Pokemon raids when some good Pokemon come on.
Disparage the mouse like that?
I'm going to disparage the mouse. If you've teased us with a fire starter and a water starter and then immediately withdraw and hand me 2 fucking mice, I'm not interested.
It could be 3 mice. It could be 3 mice.
Okay, it could be
and
3
then-
mice.
Possibly up to 4 mice.
Okay, but what I want is a grass starter. Specifically, I want Rowlet, the evolution of Rowlet Decidueye. I want a proper Terra-type Decidueye. Give me a ghost Terra-type Decidueye. That's what I want. Is that too much to ask?
What,
Apparently.
It's sweet. And, it's already ghost type usually.
Yeah, okay. Maybe what would be a good type then? Maybe like a dark type Decidueye. That'd be cool. Yeah, give us a dark type Decidueye Pokemon.
Everything
I know you're
fun.
listening, Pokemon. I know you listen to this stream every single day. Game Freak, I know
Look,
you're here.
if this is what Game Freak finally takes notice of in terms of fan feedback, I would be so fucking shocked. if this is what they saw so far, not the 30 years of fans telling them exactly what they want and them doing the opposite.
Miyamoto's just like sitting there going like, these random Australians are right. I have been wrong this whole time. Yeah. Jacob, why are you showing off the player's handbook?
Oh, I just thought we were here for a thing, but that's okay. Apparently, I was wrong.
You thought we were here for D&D?
Yeah, my bad.
No.
I got the wrong night.
You did, clearly. You did clearly get the wrong night. No, we are playing D&D tonight with that very subtle hint. I will jump into the recap so that we can all catch up, because I feel like I've been given a very clear message by the cast. Okay. The newest team of the Tempest Adventuring Guild have found themselves lost in a strange land following a request to investigate some mysterious disappearances. Exploring a manor in the ruined town of Dowbridge, the group have faced ghosts, ghouls, and banshees, and in the process of disrupting a cursed magic ritual, have now been pulled through a tear in space to the demiplane of Barovia. Travelling to the nearby town, the group were met by a Barovian man who introduced himself as Ismark, son of the recently deceased village burgomaster. Ismark was quick to reveal his intentions, sure that he could trust these newcomers to the realm. The death of his father, in his mind, had been no happenstance. For several nights, their house had come under attack from undead creatures. Sure that he and his sister Irina could be next, he plans to try and escape with her to the nearby village of Vallaki. The group travelled... What are you doing, Raph? I can just see you bouncing up and down.
He's still laughing at me.
And because his laptop's sitting on his dad's belly, it's just going... Amazing.
I think Harris is crying.
He's crying? What did I miss? Or is it still from before? Still from before.
Yeah.
And I tried not to laugh and it made it worse.
You're going, okay, compose.
Guys, you're professional voice actors and Dungeons and Dragons players now. This is a professional stream. That's not a professional stream. Go nuts. The group travelled to the nearby chapel with Ismark and his sister Irina. However, things seemed rather off with the priest, Dorovich. It was soon revealed that his son, Doru, had been turned into a vampire spawn, and Dorovich had imprisoned him below the chapel to keep him contained. However, Doru's thirst needed to be quenched, and soon Dorovich had begun to kidnap townspeople to supply his son with blood. After capturing Dorovich and deciding to sleep through the night before killing Doru, the party retired to bed. Grinner, however, awakened during the night and released Doru, feeling pity for his situation. After Luther discovered this in the morning, he decided to assist Grinner with keeping this secret from the party, the rest of the group now believing Doru has escaped on his own. Heading into town, last session, the group split in two. Technically in three, actually. While Irina, Ismark, and Luther took Dorovich to the town guard, Theo went to get supplies, and Tithla, Jonor, and Grinner checked out a food cart. We'll do Theodore first, I think. Theodore attempted to intimidate the store clerk Bildrath into giving him discount supplies. Bildrath instead summoned his beast of a nephew, Parrywimple. Things then escalated quickly and resulted in Bildrath ordering Parrywimple to beat the snot out of Theodore. Limping back to the party, Theodore learns that Tithla and Jonor had purchased some delicious-looking pies from a lovely woman selling them from a cart in the town square. Reuniting with the rest of the group, the party began the journey northwest to the town of Vallaki. We left off as night began to fall as the party arrived at a crossroads, Castle Ravenloft rising high to the east, just down the road. As you guys get to this section of the crossroads looking, the sun is beginning to set in the west. You can see it dipping just behind a series of mountains and forests far to the west of where you are. Crossing over the bridge, you can see someone's attempting to move the token as far away from Castle Ravenloft as possible. Crossing the bridge and arriving at a series of pathways through the hilly area around Castle Ravenloft, you can see rising high above on this open plateau, pushing up above the dark forest around, the spires of the dark stone castle. The moon is just beginning to rise just behind the castle, and you can see it casting this very pale white glow across the castle and the lands beyond. Looking towards the castle, Irina and Ismark sort of share a bit of a look. Ismark sort of turning to the rest of you guys and going, I was hoping we'd be a bit further along before we pass Castle Ravenloft. I don't want to spend the night in its shadow. I'm thinking we try and make for maybe a patch of woodland up ahead, or try our best to find somewhere out of the way to camp and hope we don't draw attention to ourselves. What are you thinking?
What time is it currently, Owen?
Yeah, it's sort of roughly about sort of 5:30, 6 o'clock. The sun, because of the very cloudy skies, the sun is just beginning to set, casting these long shadows from the mountains and forests towards the west.
Okay.
Only there weren't unforeseeable delays as we were leaving the town.
and unavoidable ones. If I look around, is there anywhere that seems like it might be defensible in any way?
Was that you said there's a patch of woodland up ahead, Ismark?
Yes, if we can walk for another maybe 2 or 3 hours, there's a series of gates crossing a section of the road. Off towards the left, there's quite a dense patch of woodland. I'm thinking if we head to the gates and then take our path into the woodland and camp there, hopefully the gates will block line of sight from the fire to the castle, and the woodland will help provide cover as well.
2 to 3 hours? It'd be quite dark then.
Yes, that's my concern.
We also could just hide the fire.
Yes,
we've done that before.
Like we just set up here and we just do it so the fire can't be seen. It's a very simple thing one's doing when hunting.
I mean, yes, except if the person is up in a giant castle looking downwards.
Yeah, but we just hide it from the up instead of the side.
You want a horizontal, like a vertical fire?
Look, it's not uncommon to just not have a fire, though, right? Like, we could just camp out and be cold for the night. I'd rather that than be attacked.
I cannot believe that I didn't think of that. That's a great idea. Yep.
I don't know. With the fire, it might be too dark, and maybe you'll fall asleep on watch again, Grinner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sip of my beer and not think about that.
Now we're all on the same team, remember?
Yeah, maybe
And
that's...
When you see it's going to get cold out tonight, how cold are we thinking?
Pretty chilly. If you've got cloaks and jackets, you'll be wanting to put them on. The chill of the mist is not to be underestimated as well. The water vapor in the air, the mist clings to clothing and makes it wet, and then you lose a lot of heat through that as well.
I'm personally in favor of heading to the woods.
Yeah, I don't really like the idea of being quite cold all night, if I'm honest.
Sure. Okay,
Well-
let's go do that. It's only another couple of hours. What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, how long do you think it would take if we jogged?
Be a bit quicker. I mean, if we just ran, how long can you keep up a bit of a brisk jog?
I could march in a fast march with a pack on my back for 4 hours if I have to.
With my -1 constitution, not long.
Oh, the -1.
I could turn into a bear and go much further.
That's not a bad idea either. And then if anyone starts to lag behind, could you carry them on your back?
If provided they are Tithla or maybe skinny Jonor.
Yeah, I could probably carry someone for a little while as well.
Okay, well, I think then it sounds like we're going to be taking off on a bit of a brisk jog. Irina nods, hoists up her back. Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, let's do this. Let's go. Let's get out of here before dark.
Jog on.
Alrighty. As you guys begin jogging through across the road, because the road is quite smooth and well maintained this close to the castle, you'll find that you can pick up a bit of a briskish pace. As the sun does begin to set, does anyone not have night vision? I know Jonor doesn't. I know
I'm
Grinner,
a human.
I know Grinner doesn't.
do.
Oh, Jonor does. Sorry, Grinner doesn't.
I
Just Grinner.
don't know if I senses.
Is it
I
Satyr?
definitely do.
I do have the cantrip light,
Yeah,
and I would use that.
But no, that's
I would suggest against it, given the whole
Yeah.
point of us continuing to walk is to hide light.
Yeah, fair
True.
enough.
That's a good point.
Where do I see what I?
Racial
Senses.
traits, maybe?
It'd be under senses. It'll say like blind sight or dark sight under senses.
Got nothing, so I assume
So
no.
Yeah, no dark vision then.
The goat don't see.
The goat don't see. You've got those freaky little like slit goat eyes, but they don't help you in the dark. I should
Can't
update your
call
character
them
out with
freaky.
those weird rectangle irises, shouldn't I? I will update your character out. As you begin to jog on, Jonor and Tithla, Luther, the three of you are not having any problems at all. Theodore and Grinner, even with the road smoothing out, as the sun just begins to dip behind the tree line, it does become a bit harder to see where you're going. And as you sort of drop back towards the back of the group, behind the people who can see, every so often you will stumble on a loose bit of paving or stub your toe on a bit of a gap in the cobblestones as you begin sort of sprinting along. Well, not sprinting, but briskly jogging along this road. Jonor not casting light from the sounds of it.
Can we hide in someone's jacket? So It's still going to be seen. It's probably a bad idea.
Can I also say I have Natural Explorer with forest being my favorite terrain?
Yeah.
So that means that difficult terrain doesn't slow us down and we can't be lost and all that sort of stuff. Would that have an impact
When
on
you're in a forest, correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Great. Okay. Well, I'll let you know when you're in the forest, and that will kick
Great.
into
Is
effect.
the path within the forest?
On account of it being a
Path
road
through the
through
forest?
hills and plainland. It
Right,
does get to
cool.
a forest though. Up ahead it does. Yeah.
Great.
Just not
Thank you for
here.
clarifying.
Just not right here.
Sorry, it's a bit
No,
hard to tell on this map. That's me. I'm not reading the very detailed map.
What you need to look for is you need to look for trees, and that's how you know you're in the forest. Yeah,
You know,
that's
it'd help
not-
if we could see more than the smallest of circles.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll give you a bit more. How about that? On account of your vision being limited by how far you can see. Let me give you. Here you go. Yeah.
No, wait, hold on.
How's
Oh,
that?
yeah,
I'll take that. Thanks.
There you go.
Oh, why didn't you say it was plainlands? Gosh.
Yeah, it's almost like I mentioned it. As you begin
That's some
jogging along,
incredible night.
Almost.
picking up the speed. What I'm going to get you all to do is to roll me a Constitution saving throw to maintain a very sort of rapid movement through the dark along a road for about 2 hours. Grinner's is a 24.
Constitution saving throw, you say?
Yes, please.
And this is not against a spell effect?
It is, I mean, unless you count the wondrous exercise as a spell effect. That's a 2 for Theodore. That's a 9 for Luther.
Goodbye,
16 for
Ankle.
Jonor. 17 for Tithla.
Can I carry someone who needs it?
Theodore.
Not naming names.
Theodore's like a medium creature on account of being a goat man. You can try and like carry him, but it is going to be a bit hard to. Although with a 24 con save, I get. What's your strength, Grinner? It's like 18.
Strength is. That's a good question. 16.
Yeah, 16.
Plus 3.
I would say that with a con save of 24, strength of 16, you can hoist. Yeah,
Would you like me to roll that con save with disadvantage? Like just roll again?
exactly what I was about to ask you to do.
Okay, cool.
Brilliant. Anticipated my question perfectly. Well, what should be a nat 1? It's a 20.
Nice.
It's 20. It's
Good.
so fine. Yeah. After the first half an hour, Theodore, you are really unfit because every time you've needed to do anything physical, you've just turned into an animal to do it. And now, like, your actual satyr body is all noodle arms. Like, you have really not much strength. You don't really have much, like, fortitude. And as you begin running, you quickly find sweat drenching your hair, dripping off your horns and your goat nose. Your nose ring getting quite, like, fogged up from the breath and beginning to drip sweat down onto your chin, through your eyes. Your back is soaked because you are quite hairy as a goat, and it's catching all of this sweat. And so very quickly you find yourself lagging quite far behind. The dark is only making things harder for you. Running alongside you is Grinner, who is also struggling a little bit with the dark. But seeing you suffering, Grinner, would you say anything or just pick him up on your back?
Look, it's a bit hard to pick someone up while you're both jogging, so I'll probably will stop for a second and I'll like kind of grab him by the shoulder and stop him as well. And be like, look, just don't, just fucking hop on. This is just embarrassing. Get on.
No.
Theodore, you are just like, like the
crouch down a little bit.
the lactic acid burn in your throat is very real right now.
It's either that or use a resource that I get back every time I do a short rest, which I'm definitely not doing right now. So let's hop on board.
So Grinner, you move your backpack to the front of your body to act as a bit of a counterweight. You then hoist Theodore up on your back as almost like a backpack essentially. The two weights keeping you fairly balanced in your center of gravity, and then you take off with this soldierly jog. This isn't the first time you carried someone from the field of battle. This is not, and it probably won't be the last.
No,
as,
but I do throw up a little bit in my mouth because the smell of goat is huge. Especially
It is
with all that
sweaty
sweat.
goat. Yeah, it is very much like wet dog smell, but sweaty goat. I think we found the name of the episode. Sweaty goat.
There's a lot of goat chat going on here. I
of
feel
goat
like
chat.
it's
Well, you are
Well, that's
half goat.
because you're
I mean,
a goat.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, you picked this
So,
character.
what was your gender again?
goat?
goat.
Yeah, goat. Yeah.
Grinner, you don't take too long to kind of catch up with the rest of the group. Tithla helpfully calling out when there's loose cobblestones, but because like you can't really see them, it's not that helpful. As Tithla's like, oh, there's a loose one there, and you like run over it and then trip anyway because There's
Careful,
a loose
here's
one
one.
there. Isn't that
No,
helpful?
no,
And,
the other
and
side.
she's pointing at them as well, which in the dark doesn't help you much either. So it's not the most helpful, but it doesn't cause any extra harm. As you guys jog on, Luther, as you get to the end of this section of the jog and begin seeing the gate in the distance, you can just see this like rising stone monolith with these large wooden palisades joining across the center of the road that are currently open. Luther, you're now starting to feel the effects of this jog. Again, you're not much of one for physical exercise. You tend to do short bursts. Prolonged physical exertion, not really your style.
I'm not like an Outlander or anything like that. Definitely more like cityscapes.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone disappears, like they're gone. Like so, you just sort of it's short. You know, like you said, short bursts.
Yeah, and probably at this point, you're starting to get a bit thirsty.
Oh.
Well, it's been a hard jog. Like it's been a long night. You're probably starting to get a little bit thirsty.
So that's a good question then.
Hello.
To segue into with the thirst requirements.
Yes.
I guess a good way to talk about that now is how have I been managing that?
Well, how have you been? Do you have a little vial of something that you need? Do you have a little flask that you've been using that might be running a bit low on supplies at this stage?
That's a good question. I actually haven't thought about that. So I know my rations have all been like meat, basically just all meat.
Yes.
But from the thirst side of things, probably, maybe I've had a few flasks.
Probably one big full flask that's very well insulated to keep whatever's inside quite warm and from drying out. Probably is keeping you going.
How would blood go with diluting with like alcohol to like take off that
coagulation?
Yeah, the alcohol's going to rupture or lyse the red blood cells in it and cause the platelets to start coagulating.
Red blood cells? What do you mean, Owen? What's in there?
I mean, he did say blood. Like, I don't know what to say.
I guess because I guess I want something at least to like if someone sees me drinking and smells it, they don't just smell like the distinct smell of blood.
The thing to keep in mind as well, right, is that
I don't know how it works.
The way the Dhampir, it's so blood's going to be a bit tricky, but something like and this is going to get a bit gross, but like a warm tea would mix quite well, right? Because then you've got more water that you're adding. Yeah, exactly. Jacob's enjoying a nice glass right now. You know that
can't see what's inside.
No, that's true. You know from your experience, you've lived this way for a very long time now. You don't have to go for it to stay alive. You can survive on human food. Like there's nothing saying that you have to sustain it. It just says roll on or choose an option from the Dhampir hunger table to determine what tempts your character to feed. So it's the temptation that it's not an essential, but it feels good, and you know it empowers you when you.
I haven't actually.
Yeah.
I remember looking at that. I haven't actually picked one yet. So
do you want to do a live roll?
That's what I was thinking. Let me get the Dhampir thing out real quick.
I believe it's a D8. Yes, D8. And the options are blood, flesh or raw meat, cerebral spinal fluid, psychic energy, dreams or life energy. 6?
Okay, let's roll a D6. You know what? That's fun. 1. Okay, it's
1.
blood.
It's just blood. It's just blood.
I rolled. It could have been all the other stuff.
When you take your bite attack as well, that would also sate your thirst.
Okay.
So you have a
bite
we're
going classic vampire sort of things. I think I would.
I love the idea of you being a psychic vampire, like what's his face from?
It's from what we do in the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the psychic vampire just really boring.
Your forehead just
cerebral fluid
expands up. Yeah, cerebral spinal fluid.
Just crack people.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that? What was that noise again, Has? Yeah. Thank you for the ASMR.
I hate that so much.
Looking like a man who's never tongued cerebral fluid out of someone's spine before.
That's a universal experience we can all relate to. So back on track.
Did we start on track?
Before we
no.
before we lose our YouTube advertising.
All right,
Luther, your
Yes.
thirst. You do have a thirst for blood. Being a Dhampir, you do have a
Yep.
thirst for blood. You know that when you partake of it, it empowers you, makes you stronger. However, the more you give into it, the stronger that urge, that temptation becomes. I'm gonna set into effect. I've already got an addiction table ready to go. I'm just going to use that addiction table for bloodthirst, but I'm also going to offset it with when you partake, it's going to give you certain bonuses to make it more appealing to you. I've actually already got the table ready to go for this.
So is it like my thirst goes up, but my addiction sort of goes down when I don't have the blood, and then it sort of starts.
Yeah. And then if you partake of the blood, you get some bonuses. I'm happy to tell you the first one because you would know. When you first partake of blood, you gain 1d8 temporary hit points.
That's nice. I imagine though that this is a good and a bad thing. Like you take the good with the bad. So like it's really nice at the start, but as you get more addicted, and then you start not having blood around, then you get like,
yes,
going cold turkey and stuff like that. So
Is that universal blood? Like, do monsters bleed blood that would work?
Yeah. It's only O positive blood. Yeah, universal.
So any iron-based blood, because I think, and this is, we're going to go really deep.
Yeah, fuck lobsters, right?
Yeah.
Please don't fuck lobsters.
Copper blade.
No horseshoe crab, you.
No, copper-based blood. Cuttlefish are out too. Any copper-based blood, not interested. But iron-based blood, yeah. So it's the iron. There was a really good breakdown of like what it is that vampires actually get the energy from. I believe it's the. I know this is like in one of the like the tweets from Jeremy Crawford, because someone asked him like, oh, what is it the vampires are actually feeding on in the blood? Like what specifically? Like could I use alchemy to make a substitute for blood? And he was like, well, no, it's actually the iron and the red blood cells themselves. I'm trying to remember the name of the molecule. What was it? Sorry.
Ferritin.
Is it ferritin? I'm not sure it is. I'm trying to remember the name of the molecule that actually binds the oxygen that is the iron-based. I'll remember it eventually. Hemoglobin, thank you. I kept coming up with hemochromatosis. That's like, no, that's the opposite. That's when you make too much of that stuff and you start to accumulate iron. Yeah, hemoglobin. It's the hemoglobin that they subsist on specifically. So yeah, copper-based blood's no good, but any monsters that use iron-based blood, so red blood, absolutely good to go. So beasts, humanoids, aberrations are a solid no on account of them being aberrations. Oozes are going to be a bit tricky to drink. You need a straw. And you... yeah.
Good, noted.
Yeah. Oh, we've had a request for the custom table share in Discord. Yes, I can, and I'll put it on the wiki too for addiction. I just don't want to share too much yet because I'm using it against these players. So I don't want them to read it. But yeah, I will share.
But no, so far I think I've had like a flask. Kept some like I'll probably go with animal blood. I don't think he's going to be into humans. He's going to be that sort of like because he's playing into the whole like like his God saved him and he doesn't really want to prey on humans. So it's probably like doing just sort of the animal route. So I imagine that like every time that Tithla is getting some rabbits or whatever, I would probably at some point when I try my best to do it stealthily, sort of tap it, I guess, and put it.
Right, you probably wouldn't even need to do it stealthily. Like, if you said to Tithla, "Hey, do you want me to like dress those rabbits for you and like get them ready to cook?" I can imagine Tithla being like, "Well, that's a filthy, messy job, and you're willing to do it? Sure, here you go. Here's some rabbits."
I want to say, Tithla, given that you're a new person still, Tithla would probably see it as a bonding exercise, and we could do it together.
Because you do have to. You do have to bleed the rabbits, so like you have to hang them upside down and get the blood out if you're cooking them in a stew or on a spit or something like that. So I mean, you wouldn't even need to hide it, Luther. You could just say, "Oh, I'll just go wash these off in the river and then get down to the river and tip it into a flask without much effort." Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I guess that's how I've been subsisting lately.
Perfect. And that's the retcon done. Yeah. So yeah, Luther, you're getting a bit thirsty, and as you go to your flask and take a big sip, like it's been 2 days since you guys were out hunting, like actually catching things in the wild. It's like you're running a bit low on the red juice.
Cool. So will it be enough to sustain me now?
It will be enough to sustain you now, but you know that thirst is always there, tempting you, calling to you, the call of the blood.
Awesome. So I'll sort of keep running as I am, looking around, seeing just the absolute mess that Theodore is. And
when you see Grinner like jog up next to you, Theodore's is like draped over his back like a sack of potatoes, and like just this very like limp, sweaty goat. Yeah.
I'd imagine there's probably a bit of throw up on my shoulder as well.
I sort of look at him and like, well, I do declare. You know, I heard your take on it. I can try and do my Knives Out if you want. I can give it a go.
I didn't mean to do Benoit Blanc, but it just happened, and then I was like, I'm sticking to it because it's funny. Benoit Blanc. Benoit Blanc. Well, that's it, yeah.
Theodore, you're not looking so crash, huh?
I have been better. The long run is not my forte, unless I am in Beyondling form.
Well, just keep sticking out. I'm sure you'll do all right.
Yeah, you'll do all right back there.
I will hang in here. I literally.
Jonor's gonna be checking the book is like firmly in his coat every like 100 meters. Just checks still there.
Your spell book.
Yep.
Yeah. No, your spell book's strapped to you. I mean, Jonor, you'd be pretty pedantic about this, keeping it strapped to you. It's not going anywhere. You actually, Jonor, you're doing surprisingly well. Like for someone who's a bit of a scholar. 16. Like you,
I'm
maybe
trying to think of an explanation.
I'm thinking maybe Jonor, like all these adventures you've done out to go and find things, find out information about good and evil, to understand good and evil. That knowledge comes with this knowledge of, well, if you're unfit, it's going to make it really hard to potentially run away from something evil or run towards something good if it's elusive or dangerous and coming at you. So you've probably maintained a very base level of fitness, knowing that eventually you're probably going to need it at some point in your life. And more importantly, that it's much easier to be just fit enough to manage day-to-day activities, and it's very efficient, as opposed to not being very fit.
Fair. So, I would say he's also riding off enthusiasm for the first like significant we're in the wild sort of activity. He's on a first time high.
Yeah. He's got like joggers highs. He's like running along.
We're doing it.
Do you know what? Actually, do you know what I love? I love the idea of Jonor taking a morning constitutional. He goes for a little morning jog. He does his morning constitutional around the manor house. So Jonor's like maintained a very like low level of fitness his whole life. Do you know what?
Spell from Kath and Kim.
Yeah, it's the power. Yeah. I like even more like Jonor. There was a book you read once that like the way to like a pure soul was to like go for like a morning jog, like eat healthily, and in your mind you're just like yes, and you took it on board and you've stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, just like all the other religious activities you do over and over again. He's bought into a couple of those.
Yeah.
It's very acceptable.
Yes, and he also keeps salt in his socks just in case of demons as well. He read that in a book once too, and it's going to come in handy one day.
Salty feet. Oof.
As you continue carrying along and get towards the edge of the gates, the sun has truly set now, and darkness lies across the lands of Barovia. You can see now the moon rising high above Castle Ravenloft, only about sort of like 8-9 miles, maybe 10 miles from where you guys are now. Not that far away at all. The spires almost cutting the moon in half as it rises above them. As you get to the edge of the forest and towards the gate, Ismark holds up a hand, and Irina sort of comes up next to him and looks. You can see Ismark is looking a lot worse for wear than Irina is. Irina seems to actually be almost unaffected by this jog. Ismark is sweating, sort of puffing a little bit. Irina kind of gives him a look, and is like, I was gonna say, she holds her hand up. I can do this if you need a breather, Ismark. The gates are sometimes guarded by people or creatures who work for Strahd. I think here is a good place to cut across into the woodlands. I think our plan would have been to avoid the gates altogether if we were coming through the day, but now that it is night, it is probably best that we take the wooded pathway here. Any objections?
No.
You know the area.
Sounds good.
Sounds like that's the way to go.
Grinner and are you okay, Theodore? Are you well?
No, just astride my mighty steed.
Yes, well, I understand that that you two probably are having a bit of a tough time seeing. Ismark and I are the same. We do have this hooded lantern. She pulls out a lantern with multiple coverings on the sides. If we open up just the front, it's a bullseye lantern or hooded lantern. If we just open up the front, I can control the amount of light that comes out, keep it to a very soft, low glow. But when we get to the trees, I will have to close it again. Just because it will still reflect off trees and cast light. But while we are going straight ahead, away from the castle, I think we can risk a bit of light. Is anyone here quite proficient at navigating the woodlands?
No, I don't think any of us have spent any time in any woodlands.
No, I don't know anyone that's spent any time in any sort of forest or wooded areas.
Yeah. Okay, well that is a shame. Hopefully we shall find our way through the darkness.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, we shall just have to.
No, hold on, Tithla.
Yes.
Didn't you and Goatee Boy?
Oh yeah, we did. Oh, how could I have forgotten? You're absolutely.
Our home is, of course, it is in the forest. How silly of us.
I guess I'm confused. Thank you for that. Sorry, I think Theo's tired from all the sitting, and I just forget things.
Oh well, if you are quite good at navigating through the woodlands, perhaps you should take the lead, Tithla, for this next bit.
I think I am.
We will match your pace. You can be in charge. We will match your pace. You lead on.
Can I try and aid Tithla from up on Grinner's back, just sort of pointing out things that she might miss?
In my mind, you're just like, there's a tree there, Tithla. There's some roots there, Tithla.
Rabbit hole.
Some rock there. Rabbit hole. Sure, of course you can. Tithla, would you like to make a survival check with advantage?
Oh man, I am not doing well.
Sure, I can. And these will have an extra +2 because my proficiency bonus is doubled for this.
So that's a 9 + 2 is 11 for your first one, and 11 + 2 is 13. Wait, how come one rolls with
an extra 2?
Why did one of them roll with a 5? Oh, Theodore, you rolled a 9. You didn't need to roll survival, buddy.
I was trying to aid.
You just give Tithla advantage.
Aid just advantage.
Oh, do you not need to?
No,
do anything with it?
No. You don't need to. The help action is an action. It's where you give advantage to another player.
Sweet.
I know. That's like, hey, I think it's overpowered too. I think you should have to roll something. But D&D 5th edition rules, as written, don't ask you to do anything. Tithla, so 11 and 9. It's actually weirdly the same rolls.
So that's then a 13 with the extra +2.
Yeah, so it is a 13. Tithla, as you lead them to the edge of the woodlands, you can very quickly sort of see, just from the starlight and moonlight above, enough of a trail into the woods away from this gatehouse. Your sharp goblin senses as well do pick up. The gatehouse is manned. There is a flickering light from inside the northmost gate tower, and you can see the shadows of people or creatures moving within the gatehouse. But you lead the group away from the road. Hello.
Are we in the forest now?
You're heading into the forest right now. Yeah, heading away from the gatehouse to avoid that particular area.
Yep. When we do get to the forest, is it possible for my guy to sort of get up in the trees and start sort of like following the party through the trees? Because using my spider climb feature and my high acrobatics, I should be pretty capable of that.
Yeah, and you've got really good night vision on account of being a vampire, so coming in Dhampir. Yeah. As you guys reach the tree line, Luther, you sort of look up, you can see these trees with their very thick trunks and long grasping branches heading out, sort of intermingling with one another. You almost don't even need to jump. You can very easily climb along this section and occasionally just walk along the branches to different sections. Your spider climb, what does it look like when you climb? Do you just walk up on your feet, or do you climb up using all 4 limbs?
Well, now that's like the one where I got my hands free, I can just walk up it.
Exactly.
But I'm not gonna be just that like crazy. We're still running, so I like to think that when I get to one of the trees, I would just run up almost like they do in like the parkour and all the
so run up a little bit using your hands to grip, pull yourself up.
Or maybe a little bit. It looks like that, but I'm just using my legs.
Yeah. As you get to the tree line,
I'm not even going to use my arms for that. I'm going to just do like a full run and then just run up it, but like sort of in the motion that maybe my arms are helping, but it looks weird.
Okay. Do you want to make a performance check to see how weird it looks, just to see how much of this is obvious? I've got a feeling that a few people are going to notice this.
-1.
I feel like it's obvious.
6.
6. Jonor and Tithla, and probably not Theodore and Grinner with your lack of dark vision, but Tithla and Jonor, you guys watch as Jonor essentially runs up the side of a tree. Occasionally, did I say Jonor or Luther? Jonor and Tithla, you watch as Luther runs up the side of a tree, swinging his arms absent-mindedly. They're not actually contacting the tree or the branches at any point. He's kind of like going like, oh yeah, I'm climbing. It's just like literally moving his hands up and down.
I like to think that it's almost like I'm running like this, just up.
Yeah, yes. So he's got his hands flat, coming up, almost like he's doing some sort of like speed power walking. But he just runs up the side of a tree and the branches. all those without dark vision, you just see Luther kind of disappear into the darkness, and then you can hear him stepping above on the branches. Ismark sort of turns and goes, wait, Luther? What?
Luther, come down. How are you going to get from tree to tree? Just come down.
It's
easily.
all right. I'm keeping a speed with you, so keep going ahead. It's all good.
Would I have experienced this before, having travelled with him in the past?
Luther's done his best to kind of make this much less obvious in the past, would be fair to say, correct, Jared?
Well, Spider Climb before was also the level 1 feature.
Yeah.
It's almost like being in this realm, I like to think maybe is giving me that extra power.
Yeah.
Because it's like heavily saturated in vampiric power and darkness and stuff, so maybe a little of that's leached into me, hence why I can actually
even as
do
well, like
this now.
the more you partake of blood, you're unlocking more of your vampire powers.
Yeah. But definitely to answer like Raph's question, it'd be almost like before I had to use my arms, but like even then, like I did do some weird things, so he's probably at least used to the weird things.
You've always known that...
I didn't see you climb the tree, so I just know you're up there rummaging around, and I wouldn't be too wigged out.
I mean, you know that Luther's a really good climber, a freakishly good climber. There's been situations where he's been able to scale the sides of buildings, and I mean, you've sort of paused for a second. I mean, you can't do that, but maybe Luther's just really good at climbing, or was a mountain climber in a past life or something. You're not really sure, but Luther, you know he's a freakishly good climber. This kind of checks out. I mean, he's up in the trees. You didn't see him go up. You just saw him kind of disappear into the darkness, and now you can hear him above you. I mean, this checks out. It's classic Luther behavior, really.
I might even do a stealth check while I'm up here.
Oh, okay. Brilliant.
How many twigs snap?
Oh, it's a +5.
12. Not amazing. Occasionally little twigs and leaves will shower down from above, little bits of bark dropping down. A bird's nest at one point, as you kick a bird's nest, empty bird's nest. You kick a bird's nest and it sort of drops down and lands on...
It makes sense. It does make sense. We're moving at pace at the moment.
Yeah,
so
you're not being careful.
It's a bit hard.
Those birds didn't do anything to you.
Well, it lands on Theodore's head like a jaunty hat, this bird's nest that's like half
impaled on one of my horns. I'm like, oh.
yeah, as it drops, it just sort of slicks onto one of the horns and then sort of sits there for a few seconds before you like shake your head, swinging it off into the darkness. As you head deeper into the forest, after probably about 10-20 minutes of jogging through the darkness, from what you've done before, so total about sort of 30-40 minutes of jogging, Ismark calls out, Tithla, I think we're pretty deep now. I think this is pretty good. Irina sort of looks over at Ismark, nods, puts a hand on your shoulder, Tithla, and then slows down and gets pace with you. Again, Irina doesn't seem to be too puffed out yet.
Can I make a survival check to make my own decision? Because I don't take direction from no man.
Would that be a survival check to make your own decision, or would that be a belligerence check? Yeah, can you roll me a belligerence check,
to see if
please?
I feel like we are deep enough in
survival check,
whatnot, and so on.
Roll me a cheeky little shit check. If you could roll that for me.
Should have the extra +2 on that, so that's a 14.
14. Tithla, you're now decently deep into these woodlands. Anyone looking through the trees is going to be very hard pressed to spot a campfire, especially one that is dug deep into a fire pit. Someone coming over above, a creature flying above, might be able to spot it through the tree branches, but anything other than directly above you, the foliage is thick, the tree branches intermingled, and the roots of the trees around grasping at one another, holding them in place. You're pretty deep now. You think probably this is a safe place.
I turn around and I say, we're not. Just a little further. We can't stop here, not right now. A few more minutes. I know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't lie to you. Not again. Wait, not again.
Wait, what?
Let's just keep going. Go for another bit.
All right.
Okay, we can go for a little bit longer.
And Tithla leads like 20 meters and says, okay, here we go.
Ismark's like pulled his pack up, steeled himself, like goes into a jog, and then you immediately go like, all right, we're done. He sort of like stops, looks at you, looks at the path, looks down, looks at you again, shrugs his pack off, goes, oh, great. Well, you're right. That distance would have made a huge difference. Thank you.
You're right. You could just make this trip on your own. That's much better option instead of enlisting the support of the experts.
Irina puts a hand on Ismark's shoulder, gives him a look, and turns towards you, Tithla. Thank you so much, Tithla, for leading us to this safe glade in the middle of the forest. I think now might be a good time to settle down, maybe get some rations out. Those pies that you picked up, the pastries from Morgana.
Yes.
Yes,
Here,
that would be lovely.
Please, lady, would you help me prepare them, please? While
I just
they
want to
finish
quickly
setting
interject. I'm really sorry, but
That's okay. I had just the end of a joke that I was going to make, but no,
Oh.
that's fine. You continue. That's great.
I'm so sorry. Tithla, please, by all means, continue your joke.
Okay. Lady Irina, I just, now that it's just, us girls, we didn't have to go that
We're all
last 20
standing
meters.
here, right?
Sorry, what? We didn't have to go any further. What?
I'm here. Oh,
Sorry.
Just us girls are here. Like, this is not a secret conversation you guys are
Sorry,
having.
Luther, were you going to say something? Go for it about the...
No. So by all means, Tithla, by all means.
Could you please get down out of the fucking tree, mate, if you're going to talk to us?
Yeah, this whole time Luther's just been standing on a tree branch, like looking down at you guys.
I like to think that I'm on a branch, just sort of squatting down.
Yeah.
Just I'm within view. But
Are you earning your username Squatting Gopnik right now, are you?
Yeah, it's perfect.
A little behind the scenes.
That's my Discord name.
sorry,
but yeah,
pies?
I'll come down.
You watch as
by all
Luther
means,
just
Tithla, please,
walks down the edge of a tree, walks down the
Oh,
trunk.
I don't do it like that.
Oh, not too obviously. You could just drop from there. It's not
That's
that
too
high up. You're only
obvious.
like 2
Yeah.
meters up. You could just drop.
I'll drop.
Yeah. Luther
Please
just
make him make a roll for that.
No, not from 2 meters. 2 meters voluntarily dropping off a tree branch from a squatting / sitting position. He'd be fine.
Straight into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, Luther, as you land, unfortunately, I rolled a D100. Luther, you just spin upside down. How cats always land on their feet. Something about Dhampir's, you always land on your head. You just spin, and as your head lands in a rabbit hole, this
You're like a buttered bit of
sounds
toast.
out, and your entire neck just snaps in half, and you watch as Luther's limp body just drops to the ground. No, none of that happens, Luther. You just drop off and land on your feet easy. It's 2 meters up.
Good
It's not a
turn.
problem.
Good turn.
Well, by all means, Tithla, tell your joke. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I did it. It was just that we didn't have to keep traveling the last little bit. I was just going to tell the lady. But apparently it's not us girls anymore. It's all of us here.
Can I tell you a secret, Tithla?
Sure, but just be warned. Everyone is here and listening.
She leans down and whispers in your ear. I suspected that you might be playing a little prank on Ismark, and I found it very funny.
Yeah, prank. I wasn't being spiteful. Same thing.
But I will crouch down next to Tithla and I'm like, I've been having a lot of fun doing some hunting with with you there, and I would love if we could go hunt now and get a rabbit or two. We're in a woodland, so may as well save the pies when we're back in the plains.
Well, now,
Luther,
Luther, hang on.
it's like 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black.
Oh,
We
you
need
can
to be
see, so
quiet.
it's all good.
We're supposed to be here being quiet, right? This is not run around getting food time. This is go to bed and wake up in the morning time, right?
We've got some
Oh,
nice
but-
snacks as well.
Who knows
Yeah,
how
we
long the
can't
rations will
supply.
last, though. We didn't even get to pick some up from the store, so
Well, that was just because they'd run out.
Oh, exactly.
There
So we
was
don't really
none
have
left
as much
whatsoever?
as we would like.
Ismark sort of shakes his head. He's like, it's just so weird. Normally he carries quite a large supply of resources. And I
It was very
can't believe
strange.
that fat shit ate it all or sold it all.
Yeah,
Wow.
he said he sold it all. I suspect him and his giant nephew thing were they ate them all the
Oh,
rations.
Periwimple. Oh, he's a lovely boy. It's such a shame about his uncle.
No, he honestly seemed like kind of a dick, if I'm honest.
Periwimple? No, Periwimple's lovely. He's a lovely, gentle soul. I mean, he's built like a fucking tank, but like a metal tank. Like he's huge. He
A
is
what?
like a
please
sister
elaborate on
to
this.
hold water.
Okay. God.
Yeah, like a
How
but a
is that-
really.
How is that? an
Well, in that
analogy?
case, then
doesn't make sense.
he's built like a brick. He's built like an
Like
iron
a
golem.
cathedral, like a brick.
He's built like a cathedral. He's built like an iron
Ah.
golem. He's very strong, but it's a bit of a sad story, the whole situation with his uncle. As Ismark is saying this, Irina looks and goes, "Are you trying to tell a tale to get out of like actually getting firewood and making a fire?" No, they asked a question. I was just you could answer the question while getting fire, Ismark, or getting wood. Yes, Irina. You see Ismark like stands up and groans as his back kind of clicks a little bit and one of his knees gives way slightly. I'm fine. Yes. As he wanders over towards the edge of the woodland and begins picking up some sticks, the edge of the clearing where you guys are. his parents died quite young, and his uncle treats him as a bit of a slave. To be honest, it's really sad. I've often wondered if Periwinkle's life might not be a bit better if we can get him away from Bildreth. I mean, Bildreth is a piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. He's an absolute trash bag of a human being. He's the septic tank of a human person.
No, he was definitely crap. But I mean, I saw Periwinkle absolutely beat up someone that was not me. And that was pretty brutal.
Yes, Bildreth has absolute control of the poor boy. The poor boy's terrified of him. Bildreth, when Periwinkle was much younger and much smaller, Bildreth would beat him frequently and use all these punishments and threats of punishments on him. Periwinkle to this day, I don't think he's quite realized that he could easily take his uncle a million times over, could destroy his uncle. But I think he's still, when he sees his uncle, he's still that small little boy scared of that large, sweaty, stinky man. Speaking of, it smells like animal in here. What's that smell?
I'm honestly getting kind of pissed off at this now. Like, I cannot help being God.
I'm gonna drop Theodore.
I'm still on your back.
I assume that had happened ages ago. I love the idea of you still being there. Yeah, Theodore, you can't feel your hooves. I mean, you normally can't feel your hooves, but you really can't feel them because like the blood flow has been kind of cut off a bit as you've been like bounced around like a sack of potatoes on Grinner's back. Much like how Grinner's laptop was bouncing on his belly before. That's how you've been experiencing this entire journey. As you're dropped, you kind of stumble a bit in the darkness. I'd probably say Arena probably has lit the hooded lantern and has opened up some of the sides to cast this very soft glow so that you guys can vaguely see where you are and what you're doing, for those of you who don't have dark vision. Ismark gathers up some wood and heads back. Luther and Tithla, I should check in with you guys. Luther and Tithla, did you want to go try and get some food? Or, I mean, you've got the pastries as well.
Yeah, what if we have the pastries now, and then we can set some traps for breakfast in the morning?
They're
all going to be asleep. So
no, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that.
Thank you.
I will though, however, I will go still try and hunt myself because I really need to.
Alrighty. Do you want to make me a survival?
If you're really hungry and would communicate that, I could help, but if not, that's okay.
I think it's something I'm trying to do discreetly and like subtly. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, I'm really starving. I really need to get some rabbit."
Specifically meat. No, not hungry for pie. Starving for raw meat.
I know. It's a
like,
meat
we
pie.
have all this rations.
I need fresh meat. You could say it's against your religion, I guess, to eat anything that's like more than a day old.
I just like blood puddings.
The God of the Sun frowns on cured rations.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, those smoked meats, they're a Tithla carcinogen. I'm not putting that anywhere near my body, thank you.
Hey, Owen, how would blood sausages and black puddings, how would that work for a Dhampir?
So cooking them is going to be the problem, right? Because if you cook it, you're going to break down the cells and then also denature the proteins. So probably black puddings and blood sausages, if they're cooked. Look, I'm going to say that it's not that it doesn't work. It still feeds the hunger, but you don't get any benefits from it. It has to be fresh blood.
Right. So it might, like, if I have like a lot of them, it might give me like a minuscule like amount.
It'll sate the hunger. It'll for the moment it will feed the cravings, but it won't power you. It won't empower you at all. It doesn't give you the vampire powers. It just feeds the hunger. It scratches the itch, but doesn't give you the benefits.
Okay. Well, while everyone's settling down for some rations, I'm going to just try and slip away real quick. I have a crossbow that I keep with me, so I'm going to use that to hunt a bit more silently.
Brilliant. What's...
Not go on the pistols?
Not go on the pistols. As it echoes across the glade. Oh, man, that'd be
As you're about to leave, I want it on record for the DM. In the forest, I remain alert to danger even when engaged in another activity.
Yeah. To danger.
Which may be noises off in the woods and somebody sneaking up on camp at some point in this short-term future. Just
true. As Luther very quietly slips away, Irina, I'm assuming Tithla, you probably get to work making the fire pit.
Yep. And and then
imagine Grinner probably helps with that too.
Try and set some traps.
Yeah. Okay, in that case then, Tithla, do you want to roll me a survival check to set some traps? Grinner, you could probably dig out the fire pit.
Yeah, I'm digging the pit. Yeah.
Yeah. Jonor, I mean, what are your spells? You've got spells that can light stuff on fire, don't you? You've got prestidigitation, I'm guessing.
I have burnt hands.
You got burning hands, even better. So you just
Firebolt.
Firebolt. Amazing, yeah. Firebolt would work too. Tithla, 15 for your survival. Yeah.
17 plus 2.
17 plus 2. As you go around and set some snares at the edge of the campsite, you find some rabbit trails, you set some snares, you get the good sense you're going to catch something. As you head back to the clearing, Tithla, Luther's gone.
Oh.
Because you're specifically walking around the outside looking for places to set snares. You are now actively doing things. You notice that Luther's not there right now.
Tithla's just going to mutter to herself, oh, I thought we were going to do it together. Okay.
Like a bonding exercise.
All right. Well, I thought we said we'd do the traps and then eat rations. Then if you were actually going to come with me, 100%, I would bring you along.
Well, it was a part of a discussion, but this is too late now.
Okay.
Tithla's already sad.
Luther, you're out in the wilderness thinking to yourself, like, I can't believe Tithla didn't want to come hunting with me. Like, I thought this was a bonding exercise. Tithla, you're back in the clearing. I can't believe Luther left without me. I thought this was a bonding exercise.
I hate that guy.
God damn
What a prick. Luther, as you head out into the darkness, could you please roll me a survival check?
I'm going to use the grip point as well when I do it to do a Deadeye shot when I make my firearm attack. Oh, it says firearm, actually. I'm not going to do it.
No.
Because I don't think a crossbow is it's not a firearm.
No, it's a bow arm.
Don't worry about that. Ignore that. I will do a survival check. 14. As you begin sort of moving around, Luther, you can see some rabbit tracks and trails where rabbits probably move along, including some tracks that probably look like they could belong to a deer. But as you travel through, you don't really spy any of those land animals moving around, rabbits or deers, badgers, anything like that. What you do spot in the trees is a number of roosting birds that have sort of come in to roost for the night. And also flying high above, there's a few owls moving around as well in the nighttime. Some bats flying high above as well. Probably, like, the birds that you're looking at aren't huge. There's a few what look to be ravens and crows sleeping in the trees above. You can also see there are a number of what look to be starlings nesting in a little mud nest off to the side of the track as well, just a little bit up one of the tree trunks. But yeah, not a lot of larger prey. Mostly we're looking at birds. That's fine. I'll take out one of the birds.
Probably the bats are the biggest, actually, in hindsight. I'm just thinking, like, in terms of, like, if you're going for blood, you would know a bat is going to give you the most blood fear shot.
I was going to say that feels a bit cannibalistic from a vampire, but I mean, then, like, what's eating a person?
Yeah, eating a person's even worse, so.
It's true.
Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, I see.
But no, I'll take a shot at one of the bats.
Yeah, roll me an attack.
Yep. I only need sustenance for the night. 17
hits. One of the bats flying low, heading towards what looks to be some fruit high in a tree. You just crouch down, bring up the crossbow, fire this tiny arrow, this bolt. As it right into the bat, this tiny screech goes off, and then the bat drops out of the air. Just grab it as it lands.
How's that go again, Owen?
I'm not doing it again, it's fine. No need.
But yeah, no, I have a nice little nighttime snack because Tithla did say maybe in the morning we'll go hunting, so...
As the bat sort of,
and
like...
the traps might get something as well.
Still twitching and still warm, you just dig in.
Roll for virus.
I'm not a beast. I would...
We very gently cut the jugular, hold it above, and squeeze the bat for its blood. Like a fresh lime.
Back to the spinal fluid.
I think the moments like these, I think I would have like a little like sharp straw I can just sort of chuck in the
sharp straw.
A little bit of bamboo down the top. Like a tropical coconut.
I make it's like a Capri Sun. A little juice box. My little juice bag. I gently slit the jugular, take out my metal straw, just feed it through part of the vein.
You can hold it by the wings like a little sippy cup.
And then you have to like shake it to get the last few drops. This is horrific. If this video doesn't get demonetized, I don't know what will. As you do this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you feel good. None of us do, but you feel good. Oh, let me mark down that you've partaken of the delicious red fluid.
Perfect.
No, it's not. It's not human, so it doesn't count. It's only humanoid blood that.
You've
that's
only
a problem.
tasted of the juice of the animal.
Yeah, exactly. So just the mental image of like a bat pre-sun, which is like you like open the wings up, pull out the straw. Like, it's just terrific.
Pre-sun, that was really well done.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you. For American listeners, enjoy that mental image. For the rest of the world, you're welcome. Yeah, Luther. After a brief suck later, as you like drop the absolutely desiccated corpse, the dried desiccated corpse of the bat at your feet, I'm just guessing you just discard your unused sections.
Don't litter.
Yeah, look, it's blood. It's not raw flesh. Like one of the options was. So
Yeah.
I think I'm like, I'm not a savage. I have a bit of class to me. I do come from nobility, so I probably even do a little napkin.
You pull out your drinking napkin, this bright red napkin that you put around your neck, because obviously it needs to be red, otherwise it's going to show the stains. And then when you're done, you gently dab at the corners of your mouth, tuck it away, clean off your straw, clean it out a little bit, wash a bit of water through it, dry it out, and chuck it back in your pack. Yeah, you get back to the rest of the group.
Tonight.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been too long. Maybe
The rest of you, the fire doesn't take too long to get started, especially with Jonor just firebolting at a light. I'd probably say, Jonor, rather than flinging the firebolt, you just conjure the fire into your hand and put it down into the campfire, and that is enough to light the fire. And then you remove your hand, cancel the spell. The fire, even though it is rather small and dug into the ground, into a small fire pit dug by Grinner, the warmth is welcome. And you find the soft, gentle glow and the sound of the crackling wood very comforting in this dark, cold place. The mists that were hard to see with the dark, but now are quite visible with the firelight. You can see the mists around the edge of the woodlands have begun to rise up. Nothing like the town of Dowerbridge, where the really thick mists surrounded you and trapped you inside the house. These are much more natural, more normal-looking mists. Ismark, sort of sitting back, looking at the fire, warming his hands after sort of piling up a fair few sections of log and sticks that he's collected, looks towards you, Tithla. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty hungry. Tithla, you said you picked up a few slices of Morgan's cooking?
Yep, yes, and we have been warming it up for you. So,
oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, Grinner, you've already had yours.
Yeah, totally worth it. It's good shit.
And you'll never be able to have any more again. But the rest of us will all be able to have ours now. So here we go. Here.
Fantastic.
Arena,
yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Jonor.
Did you say Luther?
Thank you.
Luther's still not back yet.
Luther. Oh. Grinner.
That's so sad.
Grinner, would you like to hold on to this for Luther?
Well,
Grinner, you do.
all right.
Let's just discuss the fact that you I mean, as you look at it, you begin to feel a little bit of saliva pooling at the edges of your cheeks, this hunger coming into your eyes as you stare at this pastry. You remember how good it was. It tasted really nice.
Ooh, you could be the second person on the addiction table.
I knew as soon as he said it earlier that was exactly what this table was for.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
I just
hold
happen
that
to
for you.
conveniently have an addiction table on hand. What are you talking about?
You always have this with you.
I always carry around an addiction table with me for my Dungeons and Dragons games.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tithla will hand it out to everybody present.
Brilliant.
So, Grinner, thanks for holding onto that.
Yeah, no, yep.
If there's
Brilliant.
any marks on the pies, if there's dirt or anything, it's been spoiled to some degree. Or prestidigitation. Oh, okay. They're all
Tithla's
good.
taken good care of it. Tithla has guarded these with her utmost care and attention. The pie is in very, very good nick. And now that it's warmed in the pan, the flaky pastry on top, the steam rising from it, the smell wafting, this sort of very spiced meat rising, this gamey spiced meat. It smells really good.
This does take me back home. I do enjoy a nice meat pie.
Would I have
I warm
any
up
reason to be mistrustful of this pie?
I mean, you've seen Grinner eat it with no ill effects. You've heard Ismark in Arena talk about it being delicious. Jonor even cast Identify on it. and told you exactly what he knows about it. So
Probably
he told you
probably
there's some.
gonna smash it, yeah.
Jonor said there's a magical effect. It will give you really, really lovely
Immune to
dreams. Yeah, make you very, very hearty, make you immune to being put to sleep. When you do have a sleep, you will have a very, very good night's sleep. You will sleep for, I think it was 8 hours.
8 hours sleep.
8 hours sleep, which during which time you'll have wonderful dreams. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
If remembering that,
and then they're very Moorish.
Tithla wouldn't. She would just subtly not eat hers.
Oh,
Why? I'll try to work out a reason not to, but like I can't think of a logical reason why Theodore would not. So Theodore will be down in his
Watch.
pie.
brilliant.
The vigor only a goat can muster.
Like you eat the packaging too.
It's all
There's
right
no.
when we say it. It's all right when we
Yeah.
say it.
Yeah, you demolish the packaging at the same time. Like for you, there's no difference.
Do
What's
I
your
need
question,
to roll
Grinner?
for whoops, I ate it?
Are you eating it?
Well, I'm going to attempt to keep
Resist.
some level of.
Do you want to make me a
resistance.
wisdom saving throw then?
I do.
You sound very keen. 4. Grinner. I set the DC at a very reasonable 12. You just
You
look at this
failed.
thing, you think to yourself, like, all those times you've been out with Luther, you're sure you can think of a number of occasions where, like, Luther's eaten something that you wanted. Like, fuck him. Like, who gives a shit about Luther? Like,
You know, actually, you know what, Nilo? I reckon it's actually the other way around where, because I'm like a Dhampir, there's probably a
Yeah.
bunch of times where I've just been like, oh, you know what?
I don't want this. You have
You
it.
know, by all
Yeah.
means, take my share. And
Even
that's why he's
better.
like probably thinking to himself, hey, Luther's probably like, you know,
He'll be fine with
he
this.
wouldn't even care. He'd be fine with it.
I'd imagine as Tithla's handing them out, and seeing as she handed mine first, and then goes around the circle. By the time she looks back up, the pie's just gone, and there's just no crumbs.
There's a few crumbs like on his cheek, and as you look, Grinner sort of like does this sort of like half burp, covers his mouth.
In this time, Jonor is going to be giving himself some prestidigitation to clean his cloak. He's going over and cleaning really specific spots of his cloak, which to you, everyone else doesn't seem to be anything relevant there, but I've just really cleaned all that. And I did a roll before to figure out if Jonor would pick this or not, but he does remember that you'd get a long sleep, and if he would realize if you eat this, you will sleep, and you're not going to wake up on your own accord. So he did figure out that, okay, if we're going to be taking... guys, if we are taking turns staying awake tonight for our watch, and we have this pie, does that... Maybe, are we going to be able to wake up? I don't think this pie is going to send us to sleep.
Ismark
that's
looks
okay.
up with a mouthful of pie, goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's
a
great
good point.
memory there. But that's why I thought that I wouldn't have some tonight, and maybe I could have mine tomorrow.
Well, I
so
didn't
you all
fall
can have a good
asleep
night's-
earlier.
No, but before he
But
said
once
that
you go to
when
sleep,
we
then
do
you'll
fall
have
asleep, you have
very
a good
thorough
night's sleep.
Oh,
So I sort of self-volunteered to let you all have a good night's sleep.
I guess I should probably hold on from having this pie, and maybe Luther, when he gets back wherever he is, should have it as well. Should we be trying to find him? He's not here.
It's at this point
Oh,
that Luther saunters back into the clearing.
I might try
Tithla,
and
you
stealth
heard him
in.
coming.
Let's see if I can do that.
Oh yeah, go for a stealth. 17. Tithla, do you want to roll me... what's your passive perception, Tithla? And we'll add a 2 for your woodland feature.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head. 14.
So 16 total. So
Oh.
you don't hear Luther coming until sort of just before he steps into the clearing. As your sharp goblin senses pick up the sound of someone walking very quietly through the woodlands, not stepping on any branches, not rustling the leaves underneath. Very carefully.
I like to make it seem like I've been there the whole time, almost.
Yeah.
Or like around. Actually, you know what? Maybe not like appear on the edge. I might appear up in the tree and be like, "Hey, howdy everyone. I'm sorry, I've just been up here, just checking some things out."
Tithla instinctively draws her bow to point out whatever the sound
Ducks
was.
an arrow straight away. Yeah.
I mean, Tithla, my bad. Apologies. I was unable to find any any animals or such.
Ah, sorry, you startled me. That's okay. Never mind.
Oh, my bad.
I'm not drawing a bow
apologize.
because you betrayed my trust and left me alone here. Went off hunting by yourself.
No,
Where
we're
the fuck
friends,
did you
remember?
go? Tithla said you just fucked off.
Well, I told Tithla if she wanted to, she could come hunting with me, but then she said that she was going to
No.
have rations and just put out some traps for the night. So I was a bit dejected, to be honest, and I
Well,
went
that's
off
not
on my
what we
own.
heard.
No, I told you that I could go hunting with you, and you told me to go eat rations.
What? I didn't say. No, I think we've had a misunderstanding.
I think neither of us mentioned rations.
I would have. I definitely did, but I definitely would have loved to have you on the hunt. I relish show hunts.
I don't know. Anyway, here's some pie. Grinner?
As you look over, Grinner's just wiping the crumbs and licking his fingers.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm used to that. That's fine. That's all
It was
right. I always give it to Grinner.
It was very good, if that helps.
Well, that's. I'm happy that you enjoyed it.
It was
really fucking well.
good, mate. It was the best pie I've ever had. Does that help?
But no, by all means, so I won't partake, obviously.
No.
Well, I
Luther,
can't
I
now
want
anyway,
to
but-
apologize. I assumed ill will from your part in this party, and I should have assumed positive intent. So as an apology, I would like to share my slice of the pie with you. I'm not going to have it now because, the whole don't want to sleep through the night. So
Tithla?
we could share it tomorrow night or something because we're friends.
You know what? I appreciate that. How about we do? Okay, I accept. I accept your gratitude. Thank you so much. How about tomorrow morning as well? We go on a hunt together. How's that sound?
Yeah, I mean, I've done all the work already, but yeah, we can go for a walk and pick up my catches.
Perfect. That sounds mighty fine.
Wonderful. I've never been happy. I feel like I could catch almost twice as much as you.
You always do, I'm sure.
We should do a test one day.
By all means. Sounds good.
Now, anyone who has eaten the dream pastries, anyone who's eaten Morgan's cooking, you gain 1d8 temporary hit points.
Do I also get 1d8 because of my blood?
Oh, yes, you do, from partaking of the...
Let's do a d8.
Do I lose? Do I lose the
damn.
previous temporary D8?
Yes, they're reset by these new ones.
Yep, they don't accumulate.
So yeah, roll a d8, everybody who ate the pastry. So
Oh,
this
I
is...
just added myself 8.
That was very
One.
ambitious of you. 1 for Grinner.
That checks out.
The second pie it's delicious. But that
Causing a little bit of bloating.
that warm glow that you felt before just isn't there, and you're like, oh.
Isn't
It's
that
the guilt
meth
of eating
that if
my
you have
pie.
it, the meth you have more than once and it's not as good?
I mean, I'm going to
super
reveal.
relatable.
Oh, yeah, it's
I'm going to
exactly
reveal
that.
how cool I am / uncool. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Having avoided methamphetamines for my entire life up to
Here,
this
let me
point.
do a Google search.
Yeah. Alice, what's methamphetamines like?
If we had to do the thumb scale, where would it fit?
Is it better or worse than ice? Just asking for a friend. So that's a 7 for Luther, 1 for Grinner,
His name's
4 for
Raph.
Theodore. No, I wouldn't have to tell her.
I know how accurate that is.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, so everyone who's enjoyed the dream pastry, yeah, you gain those temporary hit points. Luther, yeah, you're feeling good. Like, you are feeling
Yeah.
empowered.
Addiction's so good, everyone should do it.
Yeah. Now, I just need to make a note.
I
of
can't wait
everybody.
for the downsides later on.
Yeah, Grinner's up to 2 serves now, so that's important to take a note of.
Oh.
Okay.
It's 1
Depending
serve
on
for
how the addiction goes, there is another couple of slices available if
Yeah,
Grinner
I'm
would be so
aware.
tempted as to.
I'm aware.
Okay, good.
Brilliant.
Oh god.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. And Luther, you have partaken of animal blood, which is not the same. Technically, I shouldn't have had you roll. I shouldn't have had you roll the d8 actually, because
Well, the
animal
same
blood
as
doesn't
the
do the same
pie.
thing as human blood does.
Okay, I'll take it
So
off.
just take it off. I mean, you lose
Okay,
anyway after you
so-
sleep. Anyway, so
So does the animal blood like
it
sates
satiates
the
you.
hunger?
Yeah, it sates the hunger, but it doesn't give you that empowered benefit that drinking human blood does. Or humanoid blood,
cool.
I should say.
Okay, so like the downside of animal blood obviously is that you don't get any power, but
Yeah, it just
the risk
scratches
of my
the itch.
moral compass.
Yes.
And also, I should say,
maintains
everyone that was talking in the Discord, I definitely would have discarded the bat respectfully, and then at dawn I would do a prayer for its sustenance.
Aw.
That is a lie.
No, 100% I would do that. I'm very religious.
So you wouldn't flush it if you had the opportunity.
I mean, like, if there's no toilets here.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
if
as you
there
turn
was,
to your
you would
left.
flush it.
No,
It's a
That's
question
the
we'll
point.
never know. It's a question we'll never find out.
there was a tree stump that was probably like full of shit. You could have just dropped it in there.
No, I would do it respectfully.
Oh, okay, respectfully. Okay. I'd drape it gently over, put a little flower on its head, and walk away. So everyone who's enjoyed the dream pastry, yeah, as it is sort of getting a little bit late, and as nighttime falls and it gets to your normal bedtime, Ismark's okay, I'm getting a bit tired. I might roll out the bedroll and head to bed. Irina next to him lets out another big yawn. Yes, I think I might be ready for sleep as well. Who was going on watch? Did you want me to take a watch? Then she yawns again very deeply.
As soon as the question is of who's going to watch, Jonor stands up. Yeah, I can do the first watch. He stands up and then just sort of glances over at Grinner to see if he noticed that I was standing up for the first take.
Well, yeah, if you glance over at Grinner, the most thing you're going to notice is the fact that he actually didn't say anything about taking a watch.
He's too infatuated with something else to notice that, to be fair.
I'm happy to take the middle watch. Luther, I know you like to take one of the ends.
Yes, I always like to wake up with the dawn. So, pretty much lock that in every time.
Okay. It's a weird phrase. Why are we locking things?
I guess it's something I picked up in the cities.
Oh, I wouldn't understand then. No, fair enough. That's my fault.
So, like I learned from you about how to hunt in the wild. You can pick up some city sort of ways from me.
Oh, I wouldn't want to taint myself with that. No.
That's fair.
Yes, the impure ways of the big smoke.
Yes.
Hey, Owen. Those was it gibbets yesterday?
The gibbets.
Were they?
Yeah.
Gibbets. Sorry. Were they like in the cage type people hanging in there, or just hanging flesh?
Crossbeams with nooses hanging from them. Yeah, thank you for the visual representation that it has.
Is that pretty much just like pirates and like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff?
Like Hangman.
The cage.
Hangman.
Think of a yeah, exactly. Like it's basically like a platform with a crossbeam where you hang people from is a gibbet.
Nice display. Good decorations for your road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that I didn't go for the whole like spears with like corpses speared through them from anus to mouth, like Vlad the Impaler did. I decided to keep it a bit more PC.
And then you said it anyway, so here we are.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel like you sort of undone any of the goodwill you had
Now
there.
we're back
Oh well,
to the
that's
human kebab.
because now you're gonna like wake up in the night and find yourself surrounded by them, and Strahd just standing there laughing as he places down all these things.
Joke's on you. None of these guys are waking up in the night.
Are we having a good night's
That's a
sleep?
good point.
Alrighty, so as Irina and Ismark roll out their blankets next to the fire and tuck themselves into bed, Tithla, you didn't have any. Grinner, you had some dream pastry. You've had 2 servings. Grinner, I know you've said that you're not sleeping tonight. You are sleeping tonight. As you try to stay awake, the dream pastries knock you unconscious. It is a magical slumber. As you sit there trying to stay awake, you find your eyelids falling heavier and heavier. And as you go to try and like pinch yourself to keep yourself awake, punch yourself, it doesn't do anything. And soon you lose control. And you watch as Grinner just slumps backwards onto his bedroll, unconscious, and begins snoring very loudly.
What is this? He's so out of character.
He was asleep on watch last time as well, so
I hadn't noticed this.
yeah.
Theodore, you're the next one.
Hey, do I have to roll? Can I try and resist it?
No, you cannot try and resist it. It is a magical effect. Any character who has eaten a serving of dream pastry will fall into a magical slumber for 8 hours.
Who would have ever thought something called a dream
pastry
would put you to sleep?
I know.
Who could have foreseen this?
It's the next bit that's really going to bend your noodle, don't worry.
My question is, why didn't I pass out on the road like
Because it's
several hours
not
ago?
until nighttime.
The
So,
daytime ones do something different.
Yeah, during the night. It's the nighttime.
Daydream
ones.
pastries are wildly different. Yeah.
Daydream pastries just break down the borders of what you see as reality, and that's just it. That's all they do. So you just start walking along, basically unable to tell what's real and what's not. Like being
Just like
constantly
normal.
under the effect of phantasmal force.
I was thinking closer to the methamphetamines you were talking about.
Yeah. Are they hallucinogenic? I don't think they
No,
are.
but
Are
it
they?
worked for
Picking
the
up on them
joke.
when they
It
were-
was a callback. I tried, okay?
Sorry.
My bad for the joke not being factually accurate.
I checked with Alice. She says they're not a hallucinogen. She says it's a.
Shucks.
Yeah, Theodore, you're the
we'll hit
next.
the
As
writing
you,
room and come back next time.
yeah,
How'd I go?
as you roll out the bedroll, you find yourself really getting sleepy. You're sort of like looking up, blinking slowly, and then drop, falling unconscious. Just leaving Tithla, Jonor, and Luther awake as everyone else falls asleep.
So before we really do settle down for the night, I'll do my just classic fishing line and bell stuff. I'll probably try and pick up more fishing line in Velaki.
Yeah.
Cool. So just to make that
Yeah.
just so you're aware.
While you're doing that, Luther, Tithla, you hear out of the corner of your hearing, just off to the back, the sound of a twig snapping in the underbrush, the sound of something shuffling.
Bow out, drawn, pointed. Hey.
That was for podcast listeners. That was Grinner being asleep.
Luther.
So who's actually near Tiflo at the moment?
The three of you,
I'm-
Jonor and Luther.
Okay, so I haven't actually went to do my little.
No, you're
thing
currently
yet.
setting up the line, but I mean, you're not that far away. Like, it's a very
Okay,
small
cool.
clearing. It's only about sort of 20, 30 feet wide.
Yeah.
Luther.
So
Luther.
I sort of come over. What's wrong?
There's something over there. Stay here, I'll go look.
So it's okay. Maybe I should go look. You stay
Nah,
here.
that's
Keep
okay.
the boat drawn. I can disappear in the trees.
So can I.
I just run up the tree.
Just Tithla, you watch as there's no pretense, there's no attempting to hide it. He just runs up the side of a tree, going
I still
completely
look like I'm
horizontal
doing
at
like
one
this.
place.
So
with his hands.
There's maybe some like potential there to maybe be like someone could be like maybe.
Yeah, but I
it's
also
parkour,
saw you
but-
do it before, where you
Yeah,
just didn't even
exactly.
try, so... Tithla didn't seem to care, so far as you could tell.
I'm imagining
I'm
the
gonna-
episodes. Sorry, go on.
This stuff. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go.
I was gonna say this reminds me of The Simpsons, where the was it Abe Simpson is describing his like inmate who's like, these sneakers are for sneaking. You're like just walking up the side of the building.
I do remember that episode. That's one of the older ones.
Yeah.
Classic bit of good.
Anyway, go on.
Okay,
Oh, that
I'm
was
gonna
good.
stealth and try and get a bit more of a look at this thing. It's up to Tifla what she wants to do. If she wants to like maybe like also try and zone in on it or like keep her bow drawn. But I'll do a stealth check, I guess.
Yes.
Damn, it's a nat 1.
Oh boy.
It's a
Branch
plus 5.
breaks.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
No, not at all.
Like a koala falling out of a tree.
I mean, as you got the side, you're just going on every branch that you step on, just making loads of noise, like peering aside, going like, "Are you there? Is anyone with Tithla? There's no one here."
You know what I would like to think actually. The snoring is so loud, it's putting me off. And like normally when I'm like going up these trees, I like keeping like my ears out to like try and listen to like the different like sort of like parts of the tree that might be more like potential for percussion. So I'm just hearing this constant snoring, and
Like
it's
a
just putting me
chainsaw.
off the game. And I'm just hitting everything that I would normally miss.
Well, if you get angry and look back down at where Grinner is, you'll actually see when he passed out and fell back, he fell back over half a tree stump. So his neck is just on the weirdest angle with his mouth wide open. It's like,
It's like an induced form of sleep apnea. It sounds.
I definitely 100% give Grinner like a greasy look. Just slightly serious.
Tithla is just laser focused on trying to see what is out there and what that sounds
I'd look over.
Yeah. Tithla and Luther and Jonor, could you all make me perception check, please? Perception checks, please.
Of course.
Thank you,
I
guys.
can.
That's another nat 1.
That's a natural 1 for Luther. Luther, like your eyes are just on
snoring.
Grinner. You're just looking at Grinner and just whispering under your mouth, "Yeah, fuck you, just fucking cut you piece of shit," as you just stare at Grinner in the darkness.
That's a 14 for me.
As actually, do you know? No, I'm going to take this a step further. Luther, his neck bent back as you look at Grinner and see him snoring, the bare neck exposed. There's that hunger there again a little bit, and you think to yourself, like, Grinner probably tastes quite nice. He's drunk a lot of whiskey. Maybe it's aged in like a fine, delicious barrel.
He's well smoked.
I'm 100%. I'm also I'm really annoyed at him at the moment too. So that's why it's probably going through my head. It's probably both him just being like super obnoxiously like annoying, and the fact that like he's like neck's exposed.
Yeah. Jonor and Tithla. Tithla 12, Jonor 16.
14.
Tithla, 14. 14's that's a bit better. Tithla, as you peer out into the darkness, where one of your snares was positioned, you can see a figure moving, quite large. Look, it looks almost like a person bent over, struggling with the snare. Jonor, you can see this much clearly. There is a man, a little bit older, with a slightly shorter white beard, white grey salt and pepper beard, dressed in a traveling cloak with a bow on his back and some arrows and a quiver. And it looks like he's trying to undo the snare around his ankle. Only about sort of like 20, 30 feet away from your campsite.
I stand up every Tithla. There's a man there. I think he's a ranger, probably an old bloke. He's in your snare.
Tithla will say, "Okay, let's go," and she's going to run forward.
All right, I run with her.
Luther's just like staring at Grinner's open neck and being like, "There's no one here." I could just say Strahd did it.
Should I do a Constitution saving throw?
It'd be a whiz save. It'd be a whiz save.
Okay, do you want me to do that?
Yeah, you can. Go on.
Oh God.
Nat 1.
That one.
Wow.
22.
What?
No, 22. Luther, you shake off this effect. You've had some blood. It's much easier. All right, we'll give you disadvantage. Roll again. No.
I just want to see what I would have gotten.
Okay.
Well,
20.
which is pretty good.
No, you're not meant to drink
Not meant to
Grinner
be.
tonight. Yeah,
Not tonight.
Tonight.
not tonight.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
agree
shake
anyway.
off the effects. Tithla and Jonor, as you run towards the edge of your campsite and into the darkness, it doesn't take you very long to get up to this person. He's there sort of like trying to take the snare off, and eventually you see as he pulls a knife from his belt, looks down at the snare, goes to think about cutting it, then changes his mind, puts his knife back and tries to undo it properly. And you can hear him talking under his breath as he's like, maybe I could, I just...
What do you want?
Did you call that?
Who are you?
Feet away.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Who are you?
Oh! He sort of stands up and looks at you guys. There's sort of a bit of fright in his eyes as he looks over and goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. I saw. Sorry, that's too close to Ismark's voice. Let me try that again. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb. I was traveling through the woods. I saw your campsite. I thought I'd give you a bit of a wide bearing, but I appear to have activated one of your snares. I'm sorry. I was just trying to untangle myself and reset it. I'm sorry to disturb."
Can I insight that one?
Yeah, of course you can. 6. Checks out.
Laugh it up. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well there's a couple around here. Tithla, you said a couple, so yeah, might want to go really wide.
I didn't want to cut it.
I'm Tithla. What's your name?
Oh, you can call me Damien. Nice to meet you.
Damien. I've never heard that kind of a name before.
You've never heard the name Damien before?
No,
It's
is that
not an
like
uncommon
regional?
name. No, it's not an uncommon name.
Oh, sorry, we're from a different place. Sorry, I get confused.
Oh, me too. I'm not from here either.
Where are you
You're not from here? Yeah.
No, I'm from a land very far away. I've been here for some time now. I guess you could say I'm from here, seeing as I can never leave.
As in you were born here, or you're from another place and have
No,
been, when you travel?
No, I was taken by the mists. Coming up to 8 winters ago now.
Okay, so you don't know Rill.
Who?
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't think so. He's like us, but only been here for like 4 weeks.
Oh, no. I don't know a krill. Sorry.
No, Rill. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Rill.
Krills of food.
Tithla, lovely to meet you. Could you give me a hand with this snare? I didn't want to cut it because I thought you might want to still use it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And she'll indicate to Jonor to stay there, and she'll go over and.
Tithla, as you step forward, Damien sort of stands up and goes, "Oh, I got it! And you look down and he has pulled his foot free. Sorry, I'll let you reset it. Sorry. Takes a step back. Looking a little bit cautious as he watches you guys, a little bit unsure of you and what you're doing.
I was just, what? You all good?
Yes, I got myself free. Well, I just had to get it over my big stompy feet.
And
why?
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, I was headed east. I'm heading to the village of Barovia.
Where are you coming from?
Well, I've been traveling around for a fair bit. I guess the most recent place I was in was Valaki, probably about 8-9 weeks ago now. It's hard to keep track in the wild.
8-9 weeks.
Why would you leave Valaki?
The people there don't like outsiders very much, and I definitely fit that description.
Wow, shit. We were just heading there because we thought we might be more accepted as outsiders.
I'm sorry, you're not going to have an easy time of it. They're raging racists.
We just left Barovia because we were outsiders and we weren't accepted there.
Yes, I'm sorry. If you're from somewhere else, you're going to struggle to find any degree of hospitality amongst the people here. Sorry.
Well, that really throws the gear out there.
You'll be able to stay there for a night or two. The problem is when you've been here for years and they see you as a parasite coming into their town, taking their jobs, just because I'm a better hunter than most of them. It's bullshit.
I know that feeling.
Oh, are you a hunter? I guess you set these snares from the looks of things.
Yes, and you weren't easily out of them, were
No,
you?
I wasn't. Very, very fine job indeed.
You know what? I've decided.
Yes?
Come on. And she'll
Oh,
indicate
no,
back
I
to
couldn't. I couldn't impose.
Damien, my friend Damien, we have been in this land for a grand total of 2 days. Maybe 3. I lose, like you say, who knows?
You've not been here very long at all.
We need some help. You obviously know how to survive in this land and this place. We could do with some tips. I'll give you... What do you want?
No, it's okay.
What do you want?
That was a heartfelt plea. It would be remiss of me to refuse a lady asking for help in such a way.
Thank you.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
So no, I won't talk. I won't talk. I'm gonna.
Sorry, that just got me. Sorry. Just really enjoyed that. Yes, Jared. Is this Jared or Luther?
Jared for now.
Jared,
so what I'm gonna do is, because now I've sort of saved off the.
It's even worse. Sorry.
Oh. Well, so I've saved off the thirst from our friend Grinner. So I'm gonna go up a little bit further and get at least from where I am a vantage point while they're talking. Yep. And I just want to do an insight check on this guy.
Yeah.
Get his mannerisms, if he's telling the truth.
Yeah,
if he's hiding any intent, because I know Tithla won't.
Yeah, no, go for an insight check.
11's on crash shot. It's okay.
I mean, he seems a little bit nervous being around Tithla and Jonor. When Tithla sort of came towards him to help take the snare off, he really quickly almost ripped it off his foot and stepped back, looking a little bit unsure as Tithla sort of moved towards him quite quickly. He seemed to be a bit sort of startled by that. Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing he says that shouts out to you that he's lying or that he's deceitful. He seems quite genuine from what you can sense.
What time is it right now?
It's sort of about 10 o'clock at this stage, 10:30, and you can see that. I should describe in a bit more detail now that you guys are a bit closer. He looks to be a human or half-elf, very, very slightly pointed ears, quite pale, amber skin, almost like maybe. As you look at him, Luth, you probably suspect maybe that one of the parents was a wood elf. They have that sort of bronze amber skin color, but it's a much paler as it's been mixed with the Caucasian human skin color. Very, very dark brown eyes, dressed in quite a large cloak that covers most of his armor, and underneath you can see that he's wearing what looks to be a mixture of hide and leathers strapped together to form makeshift armor. His bow looks to be quite nice, in a very good state of repair. Quiver of arrows on his back strapped across the top of the cloak. Boots are quite muddy, as if he's been trudging through the wilderness for some time. They look quite worn. You can see where he's patched them as well.
So, I guess
long
the question
black
to
hair
ask,
tied back as well.
Yeah. So I'm obviously a bit more of a city slicker, but
Yeah.
would I know that like a seasoned outdoorsman would? Why would he still be walking around at 10 p.m. at night? Wouldn't he have tried to make his own camp?
You don't know. That could be a very good question to ask him. There's, I mean, as you think about it, like
what I mean is though, like
what
that's
comes
what I mean,
to your
like,
mind?
It would be like a seasoned person of the outdoors would probably have already tried to find somewhere to bunk
There
for the
are
night.
some prey that, as a hunter, only come out at night. If he's hunting owls for their feathers or bats, nighttime he's going to have to come out. If he's looking for nocturnal animals, he's going to need to be out and about at night. Maybe he was on his way to try and make a camp. I mean, this clearing that you guys have come into, it's quite a convenient little glade hidden away in the forest. For all you know, maybe he was trying to get to here, thinking it would be a safe place to camp, and now you guys are here. He's not so sure. Maybe he's on the run from something, and he's done exactly what you guys did. He got caught out after dark and is trying to find a safe place. Alternatively, maybe he is up to some skullduggery, lurking around looking for... There's a lot of explanations that come to your mind straight away.
I'll ask him, how do you...
That's the point where you go, ah!
Oh, she shouldn't. She should know where I am. I've got a 6 stealth.
Yeah, true.
What's before you come into our camp? Why are you out at this time in the woods?
Oh,
skulking around.
Yes, no, of course. I'm hunting owl feathers, and he pulls his quiver around and shows you. He only has a few arrows that are actually fletched, a number of shafts that are sort of half carved. I only use owl feathers for my arrows. They tend to have the best waterproofing coat. They fly very straight and true. They make less noise, but it's a bit hard to catch owls during the day. And I know this woodland is quite rife with the buggers, so I often come here to lay out some traps, maybe some dead rodents, mice, things like that, to attract them, and then I attempt to collect their feathers.
Damien, do you know of anything happening soon? Anything bad happening soon?
Anything bad happening soon?
Have you heard of any word from the townsmen? Something's going to happen soon.
Oh, as I said, I haven't been in Vallaki or any other town for probably about 8 weeks now. Not that I know of. I'm sorry. I'm not the best person to talk to if you're looking for news.
That's okay. Good. Thank you.
Little goblin lady, you were going to say something, I think. You're muted, Jacob.
You're muted. Shut up.
I don't think I am muted. I think I do.
Sorry, the slip of the tongue. I get confused of inside thoughts and outside thoughts. I was wondering, is it difficult to come across arrows?
Oh, well, as the traders sell them for a ridiculous sum of money. I think the last time I was in the village of Barovia, some pisshead at the general store was trying to sell me arrows for 1 gold piece an arrow. It's much easier to make them myself. Yes, he's an absolutely terrible person.
Okay, that's ridiculous, and
yes.
I should know I'm a very ridiculous person myself.
Okay.
But in the good ways.
I'll note that. Yes.
I don't know how to make arrows. Do you think if maybe we hunted a little bit together and got some owls, you'd be able to teach me a little bit, and I could learn how to make my own arrows?
Yes. I mean, I've collected a couple of feathers tonight. We can shoot maybe 1 or 2 more owls. I could take you through the process, but there's not much point doing the fletching yet if you don't have a couple of shafts to attach to and some arrowheads. So maybe we should start with that. One thing I do recommend, if you're a person who uses ranged weapons, always save your arrowheads, even from broken arrows, because a lot of the blacksmiths here will try and charge you quite a lot for them.
Save arrowheads.
Yes.
I rolled a D4, took a damage because Luther's he's hurt because Tithla goes hunting only with him.
Okay, noted. Tithla doesn't seem to have noticed this from the looks of things.
So what's up? You okay?
No, it's fine.
So did you think we were exclusive? Because I've gone hunting with everyone.
I'm a little hunt slut.
Okay, well, I wouldn't use that language. That seems offensive.
Oh,
Sorry.
God.
No one says that.
I would say I'm hunt positive.
Yeah, that's funny.
Polyhuntery.
Polyhuntery. That's fantastic. Yeah, well, yes. I mean, if you, we could try and bring down 1 or 2 more owls now, if you'd like.
I would love to. I've got a slice of pie that we bought in Barovia. Would you like it as a thank you?
Oh no, I couldn't.
Showing me this?
I couldn't possibly. No, I have my own rations with me. You're being very kind.
I've got my rations too. This is a thank you for this because obviously this is something that I'm going to need. So this is my way of saying thank you. I'm gonna just put it down here. We'll go to the fire. We'll settle down for a minute, and I'm just gonna put it there. Whatever happens to it, happens to it. I'm not gonna pick it up again.
Okay. Yes. Very well. As you guys head back to the fire pit, the rest of the group are fast asleep. You can see Damien sort of like goes, "Hello," and looks at them lying down. And then when none of them respond, he turns back to you guys and goes, "Oh, should we wake them? Will they get startled if they wake up and find a stranger in their camp?"
They've woken us up with much worse. That's fine. They're fine.
Okay. That one, the scary looking one with the scar across his neck, should we maybe move his head a bit? Looks like he's
Believe it or not, this is the most back support he's ever had while sleeping.
Jesus. Apologies to headphone listeners. Oh my god.
Damn.
He sort of like looks a bit confused, but doesn't make any further moves.
You know what? Actually,
I probably am going to
right.
fix his head. Yeah.
Yeah, for trying to keep the quiet. Yeah, hunting.
Yes, yes, he will scare off everything within like a 12-mile radius of the campfire, I think.
Didn't scare us off, eh?
Well, it's actually his snoring that made me look up and step into the snare. And I'm not blaming anybody.
Well, I would say it's a wonderful snare placement and the beginnings of a wonderful hunting friendship between us and Luther.
Gives you a very encouraging nod. Well, tell me, I understand your name is Tithla. The other two, Luther. Tithla just referred to you as Luther, and I didn't catch your name.
My name is Jonor.
Jonor. Oh, nice to meet you, Jonor. And where are you three? Well, where are you 5 from?
There are 7 of us. You missed those 2 there. They're from here, though.
Oh, I did too. Apologies.
You'd be confused because they're apparently brother and sister, but they're sort of sleeping together there. I don't know what's happening.
They're definitely not sleeping together. They are sleeping adjacent to one another in bedrolls.
Yeah,
but not
Tithla, that's not together.
Okay. Okay, sure.
They're sleeping next to each other. They're both sleeping in the same place.
The figure kind of like leans over and looks at the two of them, and then as you say that, looks really startled and looks back at you with a bit of shock and alarm on his face.
What I think Tithla means to say is that they sleep in proximity. Some of this calibration of our language is coming through for Tithla. I'll leave it at that.
Right.
Well, that's like when you and me are going to go hunting together. They're just sleeping together. How is that confusing?
Oh, I understand now. Yes, no, that makes perfect sense. Well, yes.
Yes.
Well, so they're from here. Those 2 are from here, but you're not. You're like me. You're from somewhere else. Are you from my home? Are you?
Well, what home is your home?
Yeah.
I am from a place known as the Dark Domain. A terrible name, I know, and please don't hold it against me. It's just because long ago there was a terrible cataclysm, and our sun was cast away very, very far. Our planet was very far out from it, so we've had to spend a little time with very little light. We only get about sort of 2 or 3 hours of light a day, where I'm from.
No, we get way more than that.
Oh, well.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Oh, good. Yes, no, please don't.
So it's well, okay. So, and that did a population exist after this great cataclysm?
Yes, no. It was long before I was born. The Raven Queen took control and incorporated it to part of the Shadowfell. It's now sort of an in-between realm. Sort of borders the Shadowfell and its own material plane.
Okay. Sounds in depth. Sounds like something you'd be able to share with us along a long journey.
Well, there's not very much to say, really. I lived there for a fair portion of my life, but I've been here for so long, and I am ashamed to say I don't even really remember the faces of my family back home.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's not nice to not have faces.
No, I understand that you probably at this stage still have hope of escaping, I imagine.
No hope. We will. We will escape. It's not a hope, it's a we will.
He gives you a very sad look, Tithla.
You can come with us if you want.
I wish you luck. I have accepted that I am trapped here forever, as are all who enter the domain of Strahd.
You know
well,
what?
All we have to do is beat Strahd. It could be like a long game here, but that's maybe an option.
Oh, but how could you slay such a powerful, evil being?
Don't tell me that everyone that goes up against him always typically ends up dead.
Everyone who goes against him always typically ends up dead.
Right.
You know what? This is not the conversation for happy new friends. I think how do we get these shafts? How are we going to make these arrows?
So we'll need to find some lengths of wood that are from quite a sturdy tree. Do you have a good carving knife?
Of course I do. Bless you.
Oh, for podcast listeners, they're going to be very confused though, because I muted my microphone right before I sneezed.
That was just a general blessing. I don't know why you had to bring some otherworldly actions into this.
Oh, well,
just a well-wishing for the hunt.
Well, I have some spare wood with me. I can spare some if you'd like to learn how to carve the shafts of the arrows. And you have a good carving knife, you said?
Yeah, I've got my trusty dagger.
Great. Did you too, Jonor, Luther? Did you want to see how to make arrows as well?
Yeah, I'll have a watch.
I mean, like, as long as you can sort of teach me how to make crossbow bolts, they're probably similar in a way.
It's very similar, just a bit shorter.
Perfect.
A bit more sturdy as well. Yes,
by all means,
then
I'll get on in this.
Alrighty. Tithla, could you please roll me a sleight of hand check?
Sorry, survival check?
Starts with S, but no other letters were correct. A sleight of hand check, please.
So close. There's an L in there as well. Oh, that'll work.
Hey, you're 19.
19. Tithla, you've done wood carving before. All you're doing is just carving like strips of wood off until you get a long shaft of wood that is vaguely cylindrical, like thin. But
I'd like to think that Damien's there and is like pushing with the knife.
Yep.
And Tithla sees this, and Tithla expertly sort of just like tucks the wood between her legs and starts pulling on it with like a draw knife.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a much better way to do this.
He gives you a bit of a nod, but doesn't show any more signs of being impressed beyond just giving you a bit of a nod. And before too long, you have sort of 2 or 3 shafts. He teaches you how to create notches in the end to slot the feathers into, and also how to create a slice at the top to attach the arrowhead to. You'll also need some binding, some strips of leather. I have some spare that I'm willing to share.
Thank you.
And I also have a couple of arrowheads. These are just stone arrowheads. They're not quite as strong. I save these for emergencies, but I have a few. They're made of flint.
Okay. Would you be able to show me how we do those tomorrow?
I actually don't have any spare flint on me, so I will need to find some to show off. And I've not really ever found any around here. We'll have to head to the mountainous regions towards the far west.
That's okay. We can wait. You can come.
Oh, well, I can't impose. I need to get.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. And then to take down an owl, will come with me. I think I can show you where some are. Tithla, he leads you about sort of 30 feet away from the clearing and then knocks an arrow, and in one smooth motion, this arrow flies up. You hear this screech from above, and an owl drops through the canopy of trees above. You didn't even see this. You certainly didn't hear it. The fact that he just instantly shoots down this owl, like, this guy is very good and his reflexes are unnaturally quick as he just, in one smooth motion, shoots down the owl, and as it lands on the ground, he walks forward, snaps its neck, and pulls the arrow out, knocks it back in his quiver, and then hands you the owl. Yeah, if you pluck a few of the wing feathers.
I just wrote down very good next to the name Damien.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Damien, very good.
Yep. Are there any feathers in particular?
The wing feathers are best. You'll have to pull them. They're attached to the bone, so it'll take a bit of strength to pull them out. And the tail feathers are useful as well. The down you could keep and make a pillow.
Okay. Tithla doesn't even think and just starts to like break the wing to get the feathers off easier.
Oh god. Yeah, Tithla, could you make me a strength check, please?
Easily,
yeah. No
Could
problem,
it be a survival check as it's closer to processing?
No, because you're learning how to do this. Once it's a learned trick, it's going to be survival. You're learning how to do this. Sure. It's still going to be good, though.
I thought that was pretty good.
15? Yeah, you just nimbly begin plucking. I mean, you've plucked chickens before. It's the same basic principle. You just begin plucking these wings out. Before long, you have a handful of very long, straight wing feathers from an owl, as well as an owl carcass and some down. Yes. Now, if you insert them in, we'll get a bit of pitch or some glue, and you can attach them. Some bindings of rope will also help keep the feathers in place.
Okay. Thank you. We'll give that a go.
After you've got the feathers all locked in, you cut the feathers down the middle to cut them in half and then add them to the wood. You have some stone arrows. You can see Damien gives you a bit of a nod, then looks back towards the other two, Jonor and Luther. Are you guys sleeping at all, or are all three of you kind of staying awake at this point?
Well, that's a good point. We are meant to go into our watches.
I was imagining I'd be doing the first watch.
So I'll probably go to them and be like, look, I would love to get in this into this sort of process, but I've just realized that fatigue's hitting me and I have a watch early in the morning. So yeah, I think I'll retire for the night for now. Tithla, Jonor, please be careful. And I shall speak to you guys in the morning.
Yeah, have a good rest then.
Damien holds out a hand to shake your hand. Luther, it was lovely to meet you. I might be gone quite early in the morning.
What?
I shake his hand.
Yeah, he gives you a firm handshake. Yeah. Looks into your eyes. It was very lovely to meet you. Have a good night's sleep.
Okay, I just nod and say, well, thank you for that. And I sort of do my sort of run up into the tree line.
As he watches you sort of scuttle up the tree, like his brows furrow in confusion, and then he kind of like shrugs.
Because I think I'd probably sleep up in the trees, find a nice,
fair enough,
nice sort of bigger branch, and because of my spider climb, I don't think I'll fall off.
No, and especially since you're just hanging upside down by your feet.
Well, I probably wouldn't go that. Hopefully, I don't sleep like that.
With your cloak wrapped around you.
I mean, that'd be very alarming.
What were you trying to say, Jonor? Sorry, I interrupted.
Well,
that's okay. We always interrupt Jonor.
Oh, dear, the self-confidence is just knocked down even further.
Sorry, Jonor.
Well, Tithla, you can just take the time you need. I'll rest up, and when you're all done, just keep on going. I'll rest up. He's got an inside of 6. He just fully trusts this guy.
Trust this dude in the woods. Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Thanks, Jonor. Just Damien, are we gonna go like more hunting?
Oh no, I was thinking I might, if you're happy for me, I can stay up with you for your watch, Tithla, and then I might have a bit of a sleep too. After your watch is done.
Jonor was going to have the first watch, so...
I think we've taken up a bit of Jonor's time. Guessing probably he would like a bit of a nap now, and then we can do a bit longer, and then we'll swap for him, hey?
Alright, that's a good idea. You know what, it's that kind of experience that we could really do with around here.
Message received, Tithla. As Jonor gets down, snuggles into his sleeping roll, you guys sort of chat a little bit, not really talking too much about anything. Damien has lots of questions for you, Tithla. He wants to kind of understand, like, your skills, how you got them, what sort of creatures you've faced. When he hears about the owlbear, he's very impressed.
That Tithla found.
Tithla found, yeah. Does Tithla reveal the truth about that, or?
100%. There was never a secret around it.
Yeah,
everyone else just assumed and misinterpreted. And for her, it's like, oh, hey, I found an owlbear. Tithla, would be just honest, fun, and she would be trying to convince him to stay.
Could you make me a persuasion check, please, Tithla?
Oh, okay, sure.
And then I want to hear your arguments as well.
I assume I have advantage on that because we're in a forest, right?
No, that's not how that works.
Okay, damn it. That was worth a shot. That was worth a shot. That was sat on the one for so long.
18. Would you like to persuade me? Or persuade Damien, I should say.
Mr. Damien.
Miss Tithla.
Thank you for using my appropriate title and not little shit like everyone else does. I think that we make a wonderful team. I think we've already proven that I have skills that are useful and can be applied because I caught you already. And I acknowledge that you are very, very talented and we need to stick together. I know you're from the dark plane and we're from the light plane, but we're all not from here. There's the baddies out there and we don't know what they are, and you're a good person. And a good person, and I like to think that most of us are good people. We need to stick together. We're going to try and help each other. We're going to try and help some other people. I feel like you want to do that too, but you're just tired. And maybe being around some new people can help wake you up a little bit. That's why I think you should come with us tomorrow morning.
Tithla, it's very kind of you to say those things, but you've only known me for a few hours. You don't know that I'm a good person.
I know that you're the nicest person I've met so far here.
That's not a hard bar to match in Barovia.
But it's all we've got. And even if you're not very nice, some of us aren't very nice at times either. We just try and do the best with what we have.
I'm not going to say no. I will admit, seeing you with all your hope of escaping does make me feel like maybe it's possible as well. But I'm not going to say yes yet either. I've had friends, I've made friends here before, and I have watched them fall, either to Strahd, to his minions, to the numerous other dangers here. What I am going to do, though, is give you a token. And he reaches into his coin purse and pulls out a very odd-looking jade carving. It's made of this very light green jade stone. It's partially translucent, and you can see that it is in this sort of spiraling pattern, this knotwork pattern. And on the back, it has been affixed so that it can be used as a brooch for a cloak or for a tunic.
Mm-hmm. What? That's beautiful. What is it?
It belonged to someone who was quite dear to me a very long time ago, and they would have preferred that you have it rather than me.
Thank you. Can I know their name?
I don't think I'm quite ready to tell that story yet. Maybe another time.
That's okay. For now, I'll just call it Precious. It'll be my Precious.
Very appropriate name. Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well,
I think it might be time to wake Jonor up. Let him take the second watch, hey?
Yes, I very much agree. Thank you very much for your time and conversation. It's nice to be able to talk to somebody who understands the woods in the way that I do. Theo understands it in a different way.
Theo, the
goat.
Yes, the
goat.
The goat. Yes. A little bleat escapes from Theo's sleeping. No. No hesitation. That's what I like to see, Has. Well, yes.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a lovely night's sleep.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in the morning.
Maybe. With that, Tithla, you go over, gently shake Jonor awake, take second watch. Damien doesn't have a bedroll. He pulls his cloak around him tightly, rests his back up against a tree, pulls his hood over his eyes, and bends his head forward. Before too long, goes very, very still.
And I have put the pie out.
Nice.
for him.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have taken it. Tithla, as you fall to sleep, drift off. You don't have any extra special dreams like the other two do. We're going to get to your 2 dreams in a second. Don't worry. Jonor, as you're on watch looking around, could I have a perception check from you, please?
Absolutely.
19.
Nice.
Ooh.
Jonor, the sounds of the woods around you keep you on edge. You can occasionally hear branches crack above, the sound of leaf litter being moved in the undergrowth, but nothing emerges from the darkness. No monsters, just the normal nighttime animals. The scariest thing is probably the owls, which you can't hear, but occasionally you'll just see flash down overhead as they strike down at prey in the undergrowth. After about an hour of your watch, you see Damien sort of lift his head up, pull his hood back, give you a bit of a wry smile and wander over to you. I'm having a bit of trouble sleeping. Do you mind if I join you for your watch?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that.
Sorry, Tithla and I talked about some things, and it's brought back some memories, and I'm having a bit of trouble falling asleep tonight.
Yeah, I've got some things haunting me as well. And as I say that, I press the digitation again and clean the same spot on the cloak that I had earlier.
Not
Oh,
clean.
are you-
Not clean.
Are you okay? What is wrong? Perhaps talking about it might help.
Have you ever seen the future?
Future? I would be lying if I said I was blessed with such gifts. Or such a curse. I did know one lady who did.
Who has seen the future? Who's this lady?
There is a seer amongst the Vistani. Madame Ava. If you go searching for her and mention to some of the traveling Vistani, you will be guided to her. She can see the future. What is, what was, and what has not yet come to pass, as she puts it.
Okay, well, I think I definitely need to visit that lady then. Is the Vistani, are they just as friendly and jolly as they make themselves out to be, or is that just a bit of a ruse?
Oh, you can trust most of the Vistani. They are mostly trustworthy. The bandits are scum, but most of the Vistani, you can trust them.
Yeah, I'm honestly quite surprised to hear that they were quite mocking in their interactions with us. So, yeah, I just have an unfortunate outlook for the future. I'm going to look down as I say this, and I think I saw my own death coming up.
Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. Was this forgive my ignorance, was this an accurate premonition or more of an anxious premonition?
Have you ever seen your body hanging from a gibbet before?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah,
There are
this is all
things-
new to me as well.
There are things, though, in this land, illusions and tricks of the mind. It's best not to pay too much heed to them and to give them, well, no more thought. If it is the future, then it will come to pass. If it is not, then it will not.
Yeah, well, I'm doing my best to try to keep it together.
You seem like a scholarly type, Jonor. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I do know a few things. Being around some scholars and religious folk, I'm quite well versed. Have a bit of arcana to display.
Indeed. Most scholars I know tend to be quite obsessive types. They have a problem that they're trying to solve or a question that they need answering. If it's not too probing, what is it you're trying to find out, to discover?
What do you think the most evil thing in this universe is?
The most evil thing in this universe?
Because I have to try to find that, or at least work my way up to it.
Indeed.
In this land, who would be most evil, or what would be most evil?
Oh, a person. I would have said that greed is the most evil thing. But if you're looking for a person, well, I guess Strahd would fit that description.
Yeah. Why do you say greed?
Greed makes evil people do terrible things, but good people do terrible things as well. It is a corrupting influence. Everyone I know who's ever made terrible decisions has done so because of greed. The decisions I've made in my life that I deeply regret were because of greed as well. Yes, greed, I think, is the most evil thing.
Well, if there's anything you want to tell me, there's no one else awake. I'm open ears.
There was a woman I loved once, a while ago. But my brother loved her as well. And in my jealousy, I sought to prove myself greater than him. And my greed made me behave very badly. And I lost her because of my behavior.
I think that's a very, very strong point to make about greed. If that's done bad things for you, I'll do my best to not walk down that path.
Indeed. Sorry. I might head back to my tree now. Some things to think about. Enjoy the rest of your watch, Jonor.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Gives you a nod, heads back, cloak back up and around, pulls the hood over. Jonor, the rest of your watch passes without incident, and when you go to wake up Luther, sort of heading probably towards like 2, 3 a.m. when you swap over for Luther. Luther's Jonor gently sort of shakes you awake. The sun, you know, is going to rise in a couple of hours. You've got the morning all to yourself. As Jonor drifts off to sleep, maybe an hour or two later, you can see that Damien's not asleep. He seems to be... His head's back now. He seems to be looking out through the tree line. And as he sort of catches you looking at him, he looks back over at you. Could you make me a perception check, please?
Yep.
15. Keeps licking his lips every so often, as if to like keep them wet, or as if he's nervous or thinking something through.
Is that because of the pie?
The pie's still sitting there. He hasn't touched it yet.
Yeah.
Good question.
I assume it's a pie.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
I sort of, as we sort of lock eyes, and I've sort of noticed him licking his lips a couple times, I go down. Actually, no, I'll probably stay up where I am.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I'm sorry, friend. You okay? Do you need some help with anything?
He looks up at you, eyes sort of wide open. Seeing you up in the tree on the branch, he begins climbing up the side of the tree, quite slowly and laboriously, to join you up on the branch. And as he sits down on a branch kind of adjacent to yours, not wanting to get too close to you, sits down, looks at you and goes, I'm a bit thirsty, if I'm being honest.
Oh, thirsty, okay. Well, by all means, let me go down real quick and I'll grab some of the water skins.
No. I don't want to take any of your rations. I'll head for the river when first light comes. Grab some water.
Well, what's the difference between now and the morning?
Well, you're heading away from the river. I'm heading towards it. It's best you keep your water with you. Fresh, clean water is hard to find in Barovia.
I'm not aware of the conversation you obviously had with Tithla, so... No. Him saying that's pretty interesting, but I don't know that. I just sort of... Well, yeah, I don't really... Yeah, I just sort of nod and go, well, that's...
Chat, just as a side, Chat wants you to kiss him. Jared, what? Chat wants you to kiss him.
Kiss him? No, it's... Yep. Oh, it's Bruin. Brass axe. No, I'm not.
You're not going to kiss him?
Sort of. Well, he's like on another branch. Even if that was like a thing that was leading up to it, it's not very intimate. He's pretty far away.
This branch is a bit lonely.
It's not the right vibe for you.
Yeah.
Not romantic enough for Luther.
Keeping us apart. But no, I sort of. Well, that's fair. That's fair enough. So, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go after this?
I'll keep traveling on. Head to Barovia, the village, Barovia. Maybe try and sell some hides that I've prepared. See if I can get some supplies, and then continue my trek northward.
Someone like you who has been here for a few winters. What's why do you travel on your own in the middle of the night? I know that you were hunting for Al, but Wouldn't someone like you, like, isn't this place full of terrors?
Yes, I've generally found that by myself I can be more stealthy than I could with others. I can avoid dangers that larger groups cannot. It's a way to avoid notice, to stay smaller target. And I know the routes that I can take safely.
No, I get that. It's just unfortunately if you ever get caught that one time, it's pretty much game over.
Yes, would be. I can handle myself in combat. But
Well, just you don't really have a great track record because you literally walked into one of our snares.
well, I was a bit surprised to see people here, to be honest. Strangers in these woods, you caught me a bit by surprise, and that snoring, that ungodly sound, you draw my attention.
Yeah,
I thought it was
that
some
can
sort
be like
of
that.
animal, maybe. Like a
No, it
mating
is.
call
It
of
is an
some,
animal.
like,
No, it's an
large
animal.
creature.
No, it's very much an animal. No, look at that! Look at that thing down there. You think that's not a human? Like that's a human? Come on, that's
It's
just
like
a
moved.
beast.
It's moved now, like his head's back, but the snoring stopped, and it's almost like this rasp, like he's run out of any moisture in his throat. It's just like this.
I think didn't Tithla and Jonor move your head?
He did move.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Okay, he's all
Oh
right.
no! As we're looking at him and he's
Yeah,
next,
it's
like,
way worse now.
Yeah, it's just off to the other side.
because his neck's so cocked back. I just want to
Yeah.
see when he said thirst. I want to see if he's looking at the neck or just like just looking at him. Like
No,
normal.
it doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
To be honest,
Oh, well.
it's the drink. I think you know what I'm talking about. You've had things to help dull the pain, drink to forget. Sometimes drink has a bit of a hold on you as well. I think I can see a bit of that look in your eyes. Someone who feels that calling for another drink.
Yes, my name's Luther, and I am an alcoholic.
Hi, Luther.
Hi, Luther. I'm Damien, and I've struggled with addiction for a very long time.
Very, very long time.
Tell me all about it.
There's not much to say. I imagine the story is quite an ordinary one. I drank for pleasure, for fun, to be a better person. And soon, I drank for the drink itself. Then, before too long, I was controlled by it. It ruled me. And I became, frankly, a monster. My family and friends, people I called allies, turned on me, rightfully so. And for a very long time I drank to forget, to dull the pain. But I've been trying my best to avoid for a very long time. I avoid the taverns, Valaki and Barovia when I pass through, even though I'd like to visit.
I can understand that. I feel that. But there's a different demon that haunts my steps.
Not an unquenchable thirst, then.
You could say it is. But I'm not really look, I'll be honest, I keep things close to the chest.
He gives you a look up and down. I'd say that you're early in the process of turning, but it looks like you've been this way for some time. Would that be correct? I faced vampires.
I
here
will say
before,
this, though.
son. I know what
As
to
he's sitting there, I try and as stealthily as I can, I rest my hand on my
fire
my
hand.
pistol.
Fire hand.
Firearm.
Yeah.
My shaft. I mean,
hope
the
you're
wooden
happy.
shaft of my pistol, of course.
I hope you're happy, Brune. You're getting what you wanted.
Oh no, there's going to be some fanfic about this.
Sorry, the wooden shaft of your what?
Pistol, of course.
Ah, okay.
First he runs his fingers along the barrel delicately, tracing the edges,
Okay.
the rivets.
Don't shoot.
Don't forget to work the handle.
The flared tip. He moves away his finger.
Flared tip.
Gently around the top.
There's gonna be
Apologies.
there's gonna be some fanfic.
You can see as well that Damien's looking a bit more serious as well. I've faced
man, glad
vampires
you laughed.
here before, son. I need to
What
know.
would you say?
I've faced vampires here before. Vampire spawn, creatures turned by vampires. You don't seem to be one, but I can see the signs. Are you going to turn on these people and consume them?
Okay, question to ask, Owen, for the 210. So I guess I've been a Dhampir for maybe 180.
Yeah. You've
years,
not
maybe?
progressed. You've not gotten any worse. You as the transformation began, you prayed to Lysander, and that seems to have halted the transformation where it is.
So I guess how many humans have I consumed, or
That's up to you. That's your choice. You might have consumed none. You might have consumed a couple. You might have consumed more than a couple. That's entirely up to you, Jared. I'd say I'm going to say you've at least consumed one to know the thirst and to feel the need for human blood. Maybe
I
one.
Maybe I haven't killed anyone, but I've definitely killed I've almost gotten people to the point where they're nearly expired, but then Lathander's sort of being able to pull me back all my own strength.
Maybe one of the bounties that you collected, the person was actually during the shootout was dying, and the wanted poster was dead or alive. Didn't specify how much blood they needed to have in them, so you might have had a cheeky sip.
Straw straight in there.
Yeah, get his straw. Gentle tuck of the lapel, the napkin under the frock, and then the gentle straw.
Fuck.
You made this canon. This was your decision.
I know. I'm
gonna have to add a straw to your character.
You don't use your teeth, just the straw.
It's not, you know, the bullet you're holding. I'm gonna change it for a straw in your character, right?
You enjoy that.
You're gonna be a lot less badass.
I'm gonna look at him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at him and well, look, I've been this way for a long time, longer than you've probably been alive. And only a few people have gotten hurt. Not to the point of death. I've always been able to restrain myself. I myself like to think that Lathander, my god, the goddess of the
yours would be
sun.
Lysander because the goddess.
Lysander.
Lysander.
I keep forgetting.
I know because the original god is Lysander. I know.
Yeah. So Lysander. Let's just retcon it then when I say Lathander. You just go to Lysander and then leave it at that.
Done. I'll edit it in. I'll have you say Lysander for me, just with no one else talking, and I'll just edit it into all of them.
Get the robot voice.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Lysander. Lysander.
That'll do. My god, Lysander. Ooh, she protected me.
But my god, Lysander, goddess of the sun, she I'd like to think that she saved me my time of need. And
so you
resist
resist
with me
the
through
thirst.
I do to a time. I do sustain myself on animal blood, but I try my best not to snack on any humans. But no, I like to think that this Lysander, she helps me. That's why every morning I have to get up and do my daily rituals. Honor those who have helped me stay as I am, and not prey on others. But also let the dawns roll in and give you strength for the new day.
Your traveling companions know what you are?
I'd like to think not, but I don't know to their assumptions.
I despise
vampires. I don't think
vampires.
so.
If I was a better man, I'd warn them to stay very far away from you.
Well, I'll tell you right now, we share the same hatred.
It's an interesting situation.
I just thought I'd use his power and use it to... Basically, I'm just Blade.
Yeah.
I've just realized.
Interesting.
I'm going to use his power to help as I can with the curse that I have.
Well, Pleased to hear that you avoid taking lives. Keep it that way. I don't want
Well, no,
to have to hunt down a bounty against you.
I do take lives, but just the same bounties that you go for. I myself an accomplished bounty hunter.
Indeed.
I guess I strike down the wicked.
Well, you're going to be quite busy here, I suspect.
I gathered that.
Enjoy your watch and your morning rituals. And with that, Damien drops to the ground, picks up his pack, begins walking out into the darkness.
I'll drop down with him quickly and said, before you go, would you like to actually partake in some of them? Just a blessing for your travels.
The gods have never done me favors. I don't feel the need to show them thanks for the curses they've offered on me.
Well, how about this then? Just welcome in the new door instead, the sun. And may that give you a little bit of hope in this dreary life.
No thanks. Dawn's still a few hours off. I have a bit of a distance to go. Give my regards to Tithla. Tell her I will meet with her again sometime.
Will do. Good luck.
He nods, melts into the darkness in the trees as he begins walking away. You hear his footsteps for some time before it fades out of earshot. The rest of your watch passes with no more interesting information. Anything else interesting happening before dawn? Alrighty. Grinner and Theodore, your dreams are spectacular. Grinner, what would be the most desirable, perfect outcome for Grinner? What would Grinner's perfect day look like?
Honestly, simplicity. He's probably had, he would imagine first going home and delivering a very large wad of money to his mother.
Yep.
And then probably wandering back to his place, smoking an amazing cigarette, having a coffee in his little downstairs living room, sitting in his rocking chair, maybe picks up a book for a little bit. It's a very simple book with a lot of pictures. He's got a few little plants around
Maybe
his
waters
apartment.
them. Yeah.
He waters his plants. He's got a couple of little finches in a cage that he feeds.
How would Grinner feel about a farm? Living on a farm out in the countryside by himself.
Or like a hobby farm.
I
Yeah.
think
Like a small hobby farm, not like an extra
he
workout
would
farm.
be extremely content there, but I don't think it would occur to him. I think that's too...
Doesn't have to occur to him.
big.
This is the dream pastries. So
Okay.
you your dream starts off that way, delivering the money that you've earned from a very easy job to your mother, heading home, packing up your things into a cart, heading out. As you reach the edge of these large golden fields, you can see a small cottage up on top of a rise on a green hillock. There's a horse, a couple of pigs, a couple of sheep, in pens, happily munching away, eating the grass. There's a large veggie patch set up, and there's also some tobacco plants growing out the back. Grinner heads to the back, gets some of the leaves, adds them to the pile to be sun-dried, heads back in, take a long draught of a very good whiskey, smoke of a very, very nice pipe. And as you sit in a rocking chair watching the sunset, a feeling of contentedness, of wholeness, fills Grinner up. For 8 hours, you dream this perfect life, and it is beautiful and wonderful, and you feel content.
There is not a single ounce of violence in his entire day.
Probably the Scarecrow has your coat and hat. He's wearing the long brawler coat with the hat.
Mhm.
The knuckle dusters hanging off it. Theodore, what would Theodore's ideal perfect life look like?
Fields of beautiful grass that I can happily chew on.
Endless clotheslines filled with watching.
No, but on a more serious, after all enjoyment from grass has been
Has been
yeah,
done.
probably would have been dreaming of the Feywilds.
Yeah.
Ever since I've left there, the whole world's just been a bit drab by comparison. Like, there's only so much pan flute music and jumping around in a forest that can really emulate the.
No one parties like the Fey.
The magic that is just everywhere in the Feywild. And since I've lost that, that's probably where I'd be heading towards.
Yeah. Then for Theodore, you're back in the Feywilds. As you arrive at a raucous satyr party, you can see the centaurs have brought over a massive keg of hallucinogenic brew. The satyrs all begin taking part, the centaurs joining in, and before too long, the entire clearing is filled with the sounds of merriment. As you take a long swig of this sweet honey wine, this heady rush, punches you almost in the face. There's this rush of joy and wild abandon as the music of the Fae, the music of the fairy begin to rise around you. And the rest of it is kind of in flashes, running through the trees with the rest of your satyrs, running through the fields, jumping naked into this waterfall, this sacred pool of the nymphs. All of the satyrs running and jumping in buck-ass naked as the nymphs cry out in alarm, as the satyrs like call out to them like, "Hey, sugar!" being all like harassing to these poor nymphs who begin like spraying them with water, trying to scare off these satyrs, raiding the cellars of Dionysus, the god of wine and theatre, stealing a vat of amber-coloured ambergris, this dessert wine, running back to the clearing, drinking of this sweet, sweet alcoholic beverage, blacking out, awakening again to a massive feast of food laid out before you. This raucous, reveling good time in the fairy kingdom, the Feywilds. When you wake up the next morning, again, you're filled, same as Grinner, filled with this sense of contentedness, with wholeness, that this was good, this was right, this is where you should be. It doesn't fade when you wake up. It's not replaced with a sense of deep desperation. Yet.
Goodbye.
You wake up feeling well rested and feeling brilliant. As the rest of you wake up the next morning, all those who ate the dream pastry sleep for exactly 8 hours and then awaken feeling amazing the next morning. All except... No. Everyone would awaken feeling absolutely amazing the next morning. Tithla, as you awaken and look around, you can see that your friend Damien has left. He does not appear to be in the clearing anymore.
Oh, that's
As Tithla wakes up, I'll come down from the tree and I'll go up to her. Hey Tithla, good morning. I hope you had a good sleep.
Oh, hey, Luther. Just a minute. Let me just get dressed and then we can go check out the hunting.
Ah, perfect. I do have one thing to say to you, though. Damien...
Yeah?
Amazing.
Damien, he wanted to let me know that, he wanted me to let you know that, unfortunately, he's left.
I thought he might.
But you said that you will see each other again.
Did he say it like he'll see me again, or we'll see each other again, or like was it like a creepy from a distance thing, or was it like a rejoiceful reconnection?
It was a we can still stay friends kind of vibe.
I'll be completely honest. I don't know.
Okay, I'll just.
I like to think that. I'd like to think that it was more of a you guys reconnect.
Yeah.
As friends.
I'm sorry. You put a lot of mustard on the friends part there. I'm just.
No, it's just.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway,
because friends are important, just like
that's
us.
Exactly it. Let's go and get those traps, eh?
All right, let's go get them.
That is where we're going to leave for today. We'll come back in as you check the snares and have breakfast, and then head on into the Barovian wilderness. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I hope you enjoyed tonight's session. We will have a session next week. I was saying to the gang before, so next week will be sessions as normal. The week of the 20th, which is the Monday, there won't be a session. I won't be here. I won't even be in the country, so we won't be able to do a session that week. So that whole week's out. The 27th, maybe. it'll have to depend on how jet lagged I am because I arrive back in at about midday on that 27th. Hopefully I am not absolutely destroyed from a week overseas at a conference. Hopefully I will be able to run the session, but I'll keep you posted on Twitter and on the Discord. But from all of us here at the Lost Archives, I hope you've enjoyed Curse of Strahd. We will see you guys all again for Tyranny of Dragons on Wednesday, and no Avatar Legends this week as well, by the way. Alrighty. Oh, hey, tomorrow night we might be doing a bit of an impromptu dream. Who here picked up First Class Trouble for free on Epic? / who has First Class Trouble? It's
I've
like
never heard of that.
It's a really fun, like, Among Us style game. If it's still free, get it. If it's not, don't worry. But you can have up to...
Epic launcher.
I'm opening Epic now.
I don't know if it's still... I think it was a week ago or so it might not...
I'm not even going to try.
No, but it's really good. I reckon. It's definitely worth it. We might do that with something similar. I'll keep you posted for tomorrow night. But until then, stay safe, stay well. We'll see you guys again later. Bye!
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.